everybody? Welcome back to the Nerd Rage Gaming home store here in beautiful Buffalo Grove, Illinois. I'm Dom Stryker alongside Jack.
What's up?
We got the Goblin Ringleader. Welcome to the return of the modern stream here at the NRG Locals. The NRG series passed not too many a few weeks ago. And you know what? Modern wasn't highlighted enough. So, as we always do right here, beautiful Wednesday night streams, we are bringing you back. And Jack, you told me that you're hearing we got Brews out there.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm not like 1,000% on what either player is going to be playing, but last time we saw Raymond, he was doing some very strong Boros energy things, and I think I see one of the new Edge of Eternity cards that makes 1 billion Thopters, and Marty is known for playing a really fast mono blue Charbelcher deck, but right now I think he's playing Affinity.
We have Pinnacle Emissary. That is the new card you're talking about. It currently warped into play to start this turn. Now made a Mox, and then a Mox into another Pinnacle. Oh yeah, Prosperous Innkeeper tokens. Here we go. We're going. Yes, folks. Raymond Perkins, one of our go-to brewers around these streets, last week was playing Naya Landfall with Tifa and other hits. Weeks before, we saw Delirium. We've saw what Haviv and I called Spicy Boros out of Raymond, like always bringing the sauce. This is the Landfall deck, too.
Oh my god, this was such a crazy matchup. Like, Marty's doing ridiculous things, has 1 billion bodies in play turn one. Raymond has the ability to just go crazy, though.
And hugely about the tokens that Marty's Pinnacle Emissary makes, they are 1/1 flyers that can only block flyers, which means Raymond's ground-pounding crew that can get huge, it looks like there's tons of blockers, but actually might be able to barrel through.
I see a Zaz Chocobo. I think I said that right. And
sure.
You need to kill that card before it becomes a 2/3, a 3/4. Once it becomes a 4/5, it's kind of like a Tarmogoyf for 1 mana, and that's nasty.
Right. Like, this is the card that's going to continue to grow. So Raymond's pretty incentivized to start here with the ones. I remember seeing, again, Tifa. I think Sandstep Lynx is also in Raymond's hand. Wild Nicodles. So a lot happening, a lot going on. This deck is looking to beat down and attack. Marty used his big turn number 1. The question is, how big will turn 2, 3, 4 be? So time to find out.
I mean, it looks like he has the Kappa Cannoneer.
He just drew the payoff, yeah.
And a Thought Cast. So he can do, and a Thought Monitor. He can do so many things this turn.
Oh, boy. All right.
There's an Ornithopter and another Thought Cast. So he has double Thought Cast, Ornithopter, and Kappa in hand.
And just the one island from turn 1, the one. And it is the only one.
This reminds me of old school Affinity back when Mox Opal literally carried the deck. Like, you would see this all the time. They'd have a Darksteel Citadel in play, 1 land, and the Mox, and it's like, well, like I have an Ornithopter, but I have a Mox. And here's a turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer and a swing for 2 against a 2/2 Wild Nicodle.
Yeah, it looked like Marty was tapping all 6's permanents for Improvise, but the Mox Opal sneaking in there, getting the blue mana, allowing Marty to get this turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer. And we were talking about that all of Marty's attackers, these flyers, this power is all in the air that Raymond might be able to get through on the ground. But now Marty says, nah, I got Big Turtle, and I'm going to come for you soon.
And here's the Zaz Chocobo. You can play a fetch land, but this is the tough part about playing on the draw against a deck that's as explosive as the Affinity deck is. Sometimes you have your game plan, you stumble a tiny bit, and Marty's going to run away with this game.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a sigh, a little harumph from Raymond there, because the most we can do this Wild Nicodle is make it a 3/3, and this Kappa just starts as a 4/4. So there's just difficulty getting through, and it's not going to stop.
And I think he drew another Kappa Cannoneer and a Blood Moon
Excuse
and
me?
a Metallic Rebuke.
Calm down. What?
This is Alex level Affinity cards here. He's just doing some craziness. Shout out to Alex.
Shout to Chicago locals.
Yeah, the OG Affinity player who always beats me in the top 8 when I see him. But this is what's cool about playing Kappa Cannoneer. It has Ward 4, so that basically means it has Hexproof in these early turns, and you play it in the early turns.
Oh, here it is with another counter because Marty played, another Kappa to go alongside of it. Like, still, just the one island to work with, but that is not stopping Marty.
Yeah, how much total CMC has he cast, right? The Thought Monitor's 7, the Kappa's 6, the other Kappa's 6.
Raymond was, well, that's a pick it up right there.
And he didn't even need to cast the Pinnacle Emissaries from Warp. He didn't even need them.
Marty, you dropped your hand on the table. You showed the Blood Moon. Now, I know, like, a lot happened, but little things like that, Raymond's deck is this aggressive 3-color, need all my shocks, all my lands, mana base. And I don't think Marty knew that he just put that Blood Moon face up on the table there.
Yeah, and he has access to cards post sideboard like Thraben Charm, Yeah, we saw him. Okay, so we're gonna look at the main deck here. Marty submitted a.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
similar though. This is similar, right? You're most likely working with limited cranial plating effects, and instead seemed like a little bit of lean on like blood wounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you can
legit
sneak
the
it out, like turn 2 on the play, that's extremely fast.
yeah. Maybe
Uh,
Nile Landfall. But good luck, right?
yeah,
like,
that's really tough.
but we're gonna see a lot of these similar toys here. What's important is I think a lot of the blue or blue-red base of these affinity decks are kind of ending up a lot of similar spaces, right? A lot of the cream rises to the top. Once you put your opals, all your thought effects, your metallic rebukes, your kappas, the zeros, and the emissaries, there's not much space left. So, things that I would recognize and most likely come out of sideboards, in general, out of this deck are probably gonna be things like these consigned memories, these forces, these dismembers, and we know that Marty's got the blood wounds in the main already. And the thing is if he has access to a dismember or an aether spell bomb, some sort of removal in some way, shape, or form, is probably the only things that Marty is looking for to make sure that he gets his big stuff through and doesn't get hit by the big stuff. So most likely, if I was Marty, probably some light sideboarding, just trying to find ways to deal with stuff if stuff gets too big.
It's crazy when you look at it and they only have 16 lands.
Right. I mean, we saw Marty pop off with just one. Right? It
Which
was
is
just literal island Mox Opal, and I'll figure it out.
insane. And yeah, so for Raymond, right, we saw some white cards come in. Having access to 3 colors is nice because you have some of the best sideboard options because you have access to multiple colors.
Mm.
But it's sometimes hard because your sideboard will be so like covering so many
Yes.
different things. You don't have any like focused hate, and maybe he doesn't have the affinity hate that he wishes
Yeah.
he did.
Meltdowns, Wear Tears, Wrath of the Skies.
Yeah.
Looks like Exercise was brought in. Great. Something, right?
Yeah. But targeted again, it's really hard when
Yeah,
it's
the Ward
targeted.
4.
Yeah.
Dude has actual Bushwhack in his deck. Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
Right. So it's going to be really important here. Raymond's most likely in a situation of things that I want to bring in, but not sure what things I want to take out. And especially, when you are the brewer, you're not planned for other people's plans.
It's true.
And then, you sometimes, if you're bringing something on an off the beaten path sort of deck, your sideboard is usually sometimes more generic, just a like one size fits all as many cards as possible. And Raymond might be trying to figure out how to put a square peg in a round hole right now, just like
It's true.
trying to figure out how to do something or anything without getting ran over by Marty's deck.
Yeah, and like I'm sure it's the hard part about having a brew, right? Is you don't know which pieces are good, which pieces are bad in certain matchups because you just don't have like the numbers because it's a new deck, right?
Mm,
And so like maybe this is one of the things that's like more difficult when you're sideboarding, especially. You're looking at these cards like, okay, this is good, but how good is it?
yes, and I think modern also expands that issue, right? I think the older the format gets, far more difficult sideboarding gets. You have infinite cards to put in your sideboard to begin with, but then you're playing a format where the goal is all of your cards are good, right? And then the importance is figuring out which ones are the best in what situations, right? You can look at Raymond's deck, and if it has 8, 12, 16 one drops, well, all of these are good cards. And the question is, do I need all 16 of these for it to be good against Marty?
Yeah.
Or do I need to trim a 3? Do I need to trim a bad removal spell? Do I need to bring in a Path to Exile or something? Like, there's a lot to happen here.
Yeah.
Marty already gearing up. Raymond taking a quick mulligan too. So
One of the cards that we saw while he's shuffling, we were able to see the cards on the bottom. Dampening Sphere.
oh yeah,
Brought
oh
in.
yeah, slow him down. That's how Raymond beat me last week.
Yeah.
Just caught me like just enough.
Were you playing Boros?
I was playing Neoform. You kidding me?
Did you see Wills play again in the finals to Pact Consign? I forget exactly his sequence, but he was
Yeah.
able to do some crazy stuff that I've seen you do before.
Oh yeah. Big shouts to Will. Took Neoform all the way to the end. I didn't do quite as well.
Hey, but you had a recent victory.
Nope.
A W in the
no,
chat.
no. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Absolute legend here. Won at Chupacabra. What time was it when you got out?
Oh, this is the 10 p.m. RCQ that I left at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Dude, that's a Chicagoland Classic. So this is a
Yeah.
big shout. As our players are getting started, Raymond getting a fetch into Shockland. People were jealous. I was posting on the different social medias like, yeah, I did this at 10 p.m. And people were like, man, I wish they had that by me. You don't, because I spent all of Sunday sleeping.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
But
We all remember the days where it's like, oh look, I can stay up as long as I want, and then the next day you're really paying for it. And again, we're seeing Marty pop off with this Pinnacle Emissary turn
yeah,
1.
warping it in, it's gonna work alongside the Springleaf Drum. Like he's just gonna be able to weave as many bodies as possible.
Yeah.
And this time with the Spirebluff Canal, so showing more than just single island in the deck.
Thoughtcast.
Turn 1,
So
turn 1, draw 2.
when you're this is when the affinity deck really does feel insane. When they have the Opal, they have Metalcraft immediately turned on. They're able to cast their Thoughtcast for 1 mana, or is it 2? No, it's 1.
No, it was 1 right now.
Yeah,
right? And like what's important is even though this Pinnacle Emissary is going to go at end of turn because that's the warp ability, everything else Marty does doesn't go away, right? So using Kappa to utilize these resources, using Affinity to utilize these resources, making sure that the bodies that are made don't go to waste down the line, but has continual use for them. Metallic Rebuke can also improvise them, just keeping it flowing, right? And this is Raymond's shot. There's no big turtle this time, so.
Yeah, and Steppy Links, looking again, it was really strong in Modern way back when. The issue is the issue is now, right? Like in the face of like Marty making multiple bodies, having a Mox, and like another mana source in play, the Steppy Links just doesn't look as impressive, even though it is a 1 mana 5/5 for this turn.
Yeah, 4 damage rumbling in, no problem, no question.
You can't disrespect that. The issue is, I think that like Marty's just strongly in the driver's seat.
Yeah. This is sometimes the feeling when you're playing these more aggressively slanted decks, as Raymond uses Ren and 6 to take down a drone, is Raymond's early turns also look pretty good, like Marty's first turns, but Marty's turns are going to continue to look good. And each time that this happens, it's going to make Raymond's look just a little worse and a little worse.
That was an attack for 5, right?
4. So it has 0 and then 2 plus 2s.
Thank you.
So it's getting there, getting that start, getting that smush. But the issue is as soon as Marty is ready, putting down the Thought Monitor or the Kappa Cannoneer, he's going to start assembling blockers that can stop the links.
And Ren and 6 is good. The issue is the cards that Marty really cares about getting in play either have Ward or they're just too big.
Yep.
They replace themselves. Like Ren and 6 is great against X1s. It's just not as big here.
Yeah, I think the goal in Raymond's deck is to use it to have a fetch land every turn, so the double landfall, double landfall, double landfall.
Yes.
Oh,
that makes sense.
Marty here using the Thought Monitor to gear up, get some lands, get some stuff.
Plays a second Mox Opal, just not has enough resources to say, hey, I can just play this as a Lotus Petal.
Yeah, just like game 1, a single land in play, but I see a SpongeBob basic and a Thundering Falls, so.
Ooh, there's a Blood Moon on top, and he says no.
Has a Blood Moon in hand too. Doesn't need one on top.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, if Raymond just did it for life total considerations or knows the sauce, but did get the forest. So big helpful there for Raymond.
Very smart. Probably just like, again, like the Flash and the Blood Moon. Raymond's not going to change too much about how he plays, but he is going to say, I'm going to respect it.
Yeah, like if Raymond uses the Ren here to pick up this Arid Mesa and fetches for plains, then I know that it's all face up. If we're grabbing this foothills, then maybe it's not too face up yet in the foothills.
That makes sense.
Forest already in play. Mountain is what the Blood Moon locks down. So if Raymond is or isn't aware, or doesn't have a plains, right? These are things we'll figure out.
This is one of my favorite cards. So Brushfire Elemental.
Brushfire.
2 mana 1/1 with haste, I believe, and then whenever a land enters, it gets +2/+2.
You got it all. You got it all.
And it can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less. Just sauce on top of the sauce.
Just enough sauce, right? But what's important here is this card's going to be able to rumble through because again, the Thought Monitor 2/2, what's going to allow this Brushfire to actually get through there. So the trinket text being very important right now.
Do you want to hear a really bad brew? You could play Omnath, Brushfire Elemental, Risen Reef, and the Evoke Elementals, all in the same deck at one point.
Yep,
and you could just try to like pitch cast your Evoke Elementals over and over again to draw cards or put lands into play with Risen Reef, and then eventually you could get like
your Brushfire is
just so big that you just kill them, and you're like, oh, my Risen Reefs killed you.
Yeah. The Risen Reefs, they did all the hard work.
It's crazy. 3 mana 1/1s that replace themselves.
Yeah, I mean, unlike game 1, Marty is low, life total at 7 in the tank, making some stressed faces, scratching the back of the head.
It's tough. It's really tough. I think that like this is definitely one of those situations where if he had the turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer, the matchup is just so different when you have Kappa in play.
And you mentioned one of the difficulties of game 1 is that Raymond was not on the play.
Yeah.
This game number 2, we had one drop into one drop, or yeah, one drop into Renin 6 into two drop, one drop. Like this is turn number 3, but Raymond's just weaving threat, planeswalker threat, and again Marty done to 7 already, and
Is there consideration to just casting the Pinnacle Emissary from exile, warping the other one, or maybe you warp the other one first, cast the other one from exile. You have the Springleaf Drum, and then maybe you use Thought Monitor. You just cast Thought Monitor.
yeah, I think Marty's trying to figure out how to
Or
best
Kappa.
weave the turn. He has a Kappa, he has a Blood Moon, he's got the Pinnacle on warp. Like there are a lot of options available, and the thing is there probably isn't a correct option. I'm sure
True.
Marty could think for the next 4 hours and find the best thing to do, but the
Yeah.
question is, what's the best thing to do right now?
And
Does he need Blood Moon to lock the mana and lock down these double ETBs? Does he need Kappa for the big blocker? Does he need to warp and use a Pinnacle to make as big a board as possible to try to kill Raymond as well? Like, those are everything that Marty's weighing.
Yeah, and it's really tough too because he doesn't have any card advantage. If he had a what is the 2-mana Pyroclasm but doesn't hit artifacts?
Whip Flare.
If he had a Whip Flare, that would be amazing on this board. Literally be a Plague Wind.
Yeah, and this could also be if Marty does have Whip Flares, maybe this game too is a lot more learning, recognizing
True.
how small these things are, how like susceptible they could be to an effect like that. Marty didn't get to see a lot out of game 1, right? So now we're taking action here. This looks like the Kappa.
Just a big boy.
Right? Importantly, can block most of the stuff here, right? That's not the issue. That's not the problem. The thing is Marty can block one of these. The Thought Monitor can kind of block, but can't block the Brushfire Elemental. So Kappa's kind of priced into doing the Brushfire. Then the question is, well, just how much is the Step Links getting in for? Does the one ping from Renin 6 gonna make the difference here?
Yeah, but it might. Definitely. So that's a Bristly Bill off the top. Definitely playing that.
Okay,
first.
Bill.
You remember Bill from back in the days.
Yes, right. We have a Bristly Bill. Thinking about Bill. Apologies. We're thinking about Bill, right?
I mean, you gotta slam the Bill here. It gives your Brushfire Elementals so much more power. Like you can put it on anything, but I would put it on the Brushfire because they can't. They would forced to be blocked. It would be forced to be blocked by the Kappa, and it could possibly trade or eat it.
So this is going to be something that I'm sure you're quite familiar with, which is weaving together your combat math, right? Of figuring out these are the 2 blockers that Marty has to work with, because where these counters go, who they go on, is very important. Because Raymond's goal here might be to use the Brushfire Elemental as a must-block threat to kill Kappa, right? We can turn this attacker into a removal spell.
Yep, you force their hand, and that's honestly where you want to be as an aggressive deck.
And leaving up the fetch land. I'll make the rest of my decisions later. You figure out blocks, then I'm going to make my stuff bigger.
Yeah, this is the block sack with Sling Gang moment where he says, you're going to take an action, I'm going to respond, and it's going to not be good for you.
So we have the Saz Chocobo right now, just has the +1 counter on itself. We have the Brushfire Elemental, which has a landfall and an inherent 1/1 counter here. And then we have the Step Links with 1 landfall trigger. So we're looking at 2 power from the left and the right, and then the Brushfire is a 2/2 base or 1/1 base.
So 1/1.
So we're at 4 power on that right now. So this is the big part for Marty, right? Is again, the Thought Monitor cannot block the Brushfire Elemental, and Marty needs to consider himself at 6, not at 7, because the Renin 6 can weave that 1 additional point of damage.
Yeah, being safe, he blocks the Brushfire Elemental with the Thought Monitor, and then he
Can't do that one. That's
sorry, the
that's
Kappa.
the Kappa must, right? That's the huge part about this trinket text right now.
Yeah, he goes to block the Brushfire Elemental, but then if he wants to, he can put enough counters on it so it can trade. 4, 6, so no, it could eat.
Raymond can eat the Kappa.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. But then, if he doesn't block one of the other 2 creatures, is that a Surge of Salvation?
So with these blocks, this Chocobo can go +2 damage to 3, which is putting Marty to 4. So it looks like Raymond might be using his creatures as double removal spell, right? Kill the Monitor, kill the Kappa. We can get through for about 3 damage on the Saz Chocobo and still have Ren available. So Marty at a relative 3 points of life right now. I mean, show me a Bolt, show me a Tribal Flames, show me what you're working with. There might be some finishing flares for Raymond.
And if he doesn't die, he has access to double Pinnacle Emissary, and he could potentially
for Marty
make enough artifacts to just one-shot, depending.
Yeah, that's the best part is this Kappa's dying.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true.
Again,
he doesn't even have to worry about that.
This is Raymond turning his aggressive attackers into removal spells.
Yeah.
because the brush fire now has 2 triggers, which is 4, 5, 6 damage on the 4/4 Kappa. Fully survives, get through for 3 on the Saz Chocobo. Renin 6 doesn't need to do damage, but Renin 6 could deal damage. And here's the Surveil from the commercial district. So if you're going, why is Raymond just taking a peek? That's from the Surveil.
And this is the crazy. Yeah.
1 point, bing.
Goes upstairs. Says, I have multiple ways to kill you now. And an Urza Saga off the top. It's going to be a really tough spot for Marty.
Yeah, Marty picks it up. Again, I think one of the hardest parts that Marty's going to experience in this matchup is when the Pinnacle Emissary is making these tons of tokens, they can only block flyers. So Raymond's creatures being quote-unquote worse because they don't have flying or evasion become better because that's the only thing that Marty's sea of blockers can stop.
And it's crazy too because he makes so many of them. You would think like when I make Krenko tokens, half the time they're just there to block.
They're just I love blocking. Blocking is my favorite.
I got a couple fogs here, and if you don't have a way to kill my Krenko, sometimes I can just fog for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and I think Raymond understood that well. I think one of the difficulties of playing against newer cards, especially literally nothing against Marty. I'm sure they're incredibly hard to find. We're just using the back of cards, right? Back of tokens. But it's so good to know that they can't be blocking.
That's a Selesnya charm.
Yes,
That's
brother.
a Selesnya charm.
Here, I got
he's
this.
taken out the board. He's taken out the dampening spheres.
Wow. So Selesnya charm. So that's make a 3/3 centaur.
Yep.
It is +2/+2, and I think vigilance might just be 2/2.
I believe so.
+2 Vigi.
I believe
And destroy enchantment. Oh, it's trample. And it's a big creature. Wow, I was close. I knew about the knight. So, because my friends and I, when we started playing at RTR.
Yeah.
And we all picked a block or a guild, right? That's how we did it. So I had Selesnya, and a friend of mine was Rakdos with Desecration Demon, and everyone. And I was the only person. I was the only person that could beat him because the Selesnya deck just made 1,000,000 tokens. So I would just feed a 1/1 into the demon. He's like, this sucks. I can't do anything with my big demon.
Yeah. The crazy thing about Desecration Demon is the people who understand how to play against it, they build their deck in a way where it just doesn't do anything. And then some people, you have Lingering Souls.
Oh, yeah.
You just can never attack with them.
Dubs Fog right there. And do you know Desecration Demons in Foundations? You can play that card right now in Standard.
I know. You know what's crazy? When I saw it was in Foundations, I wanted to play it in Goblins.
No, this rules. So importantly, we saw Raymond taking out the Selesnya charm. I think maybe a card that was here being like, oh, right, this helps me deal with a big threat. So, taking down stuff out of Reanimator, taking down Primeval Titans, right? How do I deal with a big thing? And then we lose to Kappa and go, right, this is my answer to big card. And then we remember Ward 4, and we board the card back out, right?
That makes sense.
And that's going to be kind of the struggle for Raymond is he's got the attackers, he's got the mana, he can set all this up. But if Marty has a strong, fast Kappa hand, there just isn't literally a way for Raymond to generate 4 mana to pay for the ward on top of the removal spell, right? That is a turn 6 decision, which we haven't even seen 6 turns in these 2 games yet.
Yeah. And it looked like Marty was debating whether or not to mulligan. But it looks like he's gonna try it, and I don't know what that first card was. The art is crazy.
It's the bauble. It's the Secret Lair bauble.
Oh, Secret Lair baubles. That's so nice. Marty's always got the nicest stuff. Absolute legend. Loves the cards. Loves to play.
I would have to ask Marty, but I have a strong belief that this deck and this cardboard is borrowed from a known Underworld Breach enjoyer, where I believe much of this cardboard was used once before.
David.
It is, in fact, David.
Yes, David was talking about how he can't show up because of work, but he does want to show up.
And this is Marty showing up for him.
Yeah,
this is Marty showing up, playing the toys.
He's flexing.
He's flexing. And I think the last card played out might have been Shadow Sphere, the knife, the Morgul knife.
That makes sense. I mean, Shadow Spear is really good on a Kappa Cannoneer.
Yeah, also just helps swing that race. So Marty with 3 pieces of artifact-based cardboard and a land. So the count to get up to 6 for this Kappa, we're about 4 out of 6, right? Getting on up there. And Raymond's deciding on which threat to begin the game with. Step links.
Honestly, deciding which one drop to play is a skill, and it is very difficult.
And I wonder if Raymond's ran the numbers right on the growth of your step links per turn versus Saz Chocobo over time, right?
Yeah.
The Chocobo starts at 0, but next turn could be a 2. And the step links could also be a 2 next turn, but it could also be a 4 next turn.
Yeah.
But then you have to put in the work again to make it a 4, whereas the Chocobo keeps growing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's a tug and a pull there.
Well, and it's difficult too because like all of them are such and Wild and Coddle too.
Mm.
Like just having 3 power consistently over time, like it's really tough that
With
map.
Metallic Rebuke on the step links. So that's why Marty played out that Shadow Spear, got the blue source from the Mox Opal, and could still use the counter magic to take down the opening threat. And Raymond's searching for planes, so
Yeah.
respect for Blood Moon.
Rebuke is very strong, and it looks like this. Not able to fetch. 1, 2, 3. Only 5.
Yeah, could be a Thundering Falls turn for Marty, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So can't cast the Thought Monitor either. So it might be a
Yeah.
fetch for Thundering Falls turn.
Trying to find one other artifact.
Yeah, and the 2 cards in hand are Kappa and Thought Monitor, so 2 big cards. This is why Marty had to use the counterspell on the step links. Is Marty knew from his hand that he's not gonna be able to do anything for a turn, maybe 2 turns. That step links would really add up in damage over that time. Marty's bought himself a lot of time just by using that counterspell.
And if he finds just a simple land off the Surveil, then he can cast Thought or Kappa Cannoneer.
Right, he finds land, he can cast Kappa. If he finds an artifact that also casts Kappa, like a lot of cards add up.
And once he has another land in play on the Kappa, he can cast his Thought Monitor for
Right, yeah, because it's just going to keep going, keep adding to the count, be an artifact itself. Oh, and Raymond also is playing, I think it's Return to Nature. It's the...
Yeah, destroy all enchantments?
No, that's Back to Nature, right?
Oh, yep.
I think Return to Nature is destroy artifact, destroy enchantment, or exile a card from a graveyard.
Ooh.
This one, yeah. So, very importantly, he had a lot of flexible cards in his sideboard. And I think a lot of them just came in. He's just going to figure out how to need to flex each one, right?
Yeah, it's totally fair. There's been a...
Yeah, Reclamation just has the draw card added on, right?
It's a very
I'm
good
not going to
point.
hit our brewer like Raymond with a Strictly Better, but I'm
not going to say you're not wrong. I mean, that definitely looks right.
But hey, if you need to upgrade your Magic cards and you can't quite figure out where, check out nerdragegaming.com, pick up some singles, take a look-ski poo. If you're just like, I've seen these cards, I know it's an upgrade to my deck, well, stop by nerdragegaming.com, and if you don't see what you need, wishlist that card. You'll be notified right away when it becomes available.
Buy Snapcaster Mages, because eventually they'll come back.
Okay, yeah, I'm not here to drop the spice, but I got homies out here playing Snapcaster Mage in these streets.
Yay. Makes me so happy.
And here's the Kappa. So the Surveil did in fact find land, found Urza Saga. So talk about a land.
That's a good one.
And it's at minimum, it's Kappa triggers.
And he's raising just a Bristly Bill, which is very, very doable.
I know you said just a Bristly Bill, but it might become so much out of this Bristly Bill, right?
It's a very good point. Yeah, watching Bristly Bill, especially against Nadu, definitely taught me the power of the card. I think he has a Chrome.
Akum, the Hellhound.
Yeah, the Akum Hellhound in hand. That's definitely a card I haven't seen in a long time, but very powerful.
Here's a slightly naked Nikotl, but here's a way to get access to the red. Yeah, the Akum Hellhound.
Yeah, just basically step links, but in red.
Like yes, 100%, right?
Just color shifted step links, and that's amazing because redundancy in your powerful 1-drops.
So interesting choice here by Raymond. So we have the first counter immediately going on the Wild Nikotl, and not onto the Bristly Bill. And I only bring this up, I'm going to make sure, I don't want to be deer in headlighting here. The Kappa Cannoneer is a 5/5, right? So even if the 2 counters are put on the bill, that's only 4, right? So it's not enough for it to rumble in, but a full Wild Nikotl with 2 counters, that's 5. So that is currently a card that could rumble with the Kappa, right?
Yep.
Very importantly to always remember about Kappa Cannoneer, it is a 4/4 that enters and immediately triggers itself, putting a counter on. So it's always basically a 5/5.
Because it was designed for Commander, and then they played it in Legacy, and now they play it in Modern.
It was in fact designed for Commander, but it wasn't designed to have a word missing.
Yeah.
That part was not on purpose.
They're like, that was totally on purpose. And then someone else in the background's going, no.
Yeah, it's whenever a artifact, not whenever another, which means it triggers itself.
Thank you, Wizards. Thank you.
Exercise the Urza Saga.
Ooh,
which is huge, because I think that's... Marty has the 1 card in hand, right? So using this as an effect, it was going to add up so big for Marty, because Saga becomes a Kappa trigger, untap, Kappa trigger, right? That's just so much damage pushed through the next 2 turns. This Pinnacle Emissary needs to just be 1 mana trigger Kappa. And we might see Marty trying to cash in the Mishra's Bauble alongside this Thought Monitor. He's just running out. And now he might not be as worried about keeping his affinity count up because he's got a few more artifacts to play with. And another Urza Saga came back.
And we were talking about how like that was basically just 2-mana sinkhole. However, when you draw so many cards, finding another land is not that difficult.
Right, and the affinity deck just plays different, right? Losing basically just one piece of cardboard does not matter as much when you constantly have 10 of them.
It's true.
And the thing is the cards in the front row and the cards in the back row are all kind of making mana. Improvise, affinity, just all of these effects adding up, that there isn't that big of a difference between I have an artifact in play and I have a land in play.
Yeah, and we know Raymond probably doesn't have an ability to just blow up all artifacts. That probably doesn't have like a mass shatter in his deck.
If this keeps happening to Raymond, we're going to see him with Meltdown next week.
Well, yeah, I was thinking like, what is it, Creeping Corrosion? What's Destroy All Artifacts?
Yeah, like the 4-mana one you're talking about?
Yeah, it's from Innistrad.
Yeah, get this man a Meltdown.
Yeah.
It's good against Titan too, I promise.
That works. That works too.
Yeah, block and duty. Here's that 5/5 Nakatl, but is not the Kappa blocking because the Kappa is here being lethal, being a lethal attacker.
And this is, I think, a very good talking point about Modern right now. You kind of need to be doing something very busted and being aggressively trying to end the game constantly.
Right?
Perfect way to say it. That's the best way to sum it up. Is you need to be proactive. This format punishes people who are trying to just sit there and do something cool. Both these decks hyper aggressive. We're just seeing the most aggressive one win.
Right. Who's hyper and who's hyper, right?
Yeah.
And very importantly, the kill is face up for Marty.
Yeah.
Very, very face up. Has to kill the Saga because the Saga is a Kappa trigger, right? It makes an artifact creature. The artifact creature triggers it.
Yeah.
So Marty's going to crack this bobble because the next 2 cards just need to be artifacts.
There's a Kappa. There's a Kappa again. He can cast the Pinnacle Emissary from exile.
It was always there. It was there the whole time.
Everything was face up.
And yeah, that's the Kappa trigger, and that's the attack. Holy cow.
Marty playing it super well. Both players playing some awesome spice. And Marty starting it off 1-0.
And I think on top of everything else that we're seeing there from Marty, the power of these artifacts, the power of Mox Opal, leaving a Mishra's Bauble in play for turns upon turns upon turns, right? For the purpose that it was sitting there, it was developing his affinity count, it was making sure the Mox Opal was turned on, and then when he needed it the most, cashed it in, right? Needs to find that card, needs to figure it out. But being paid off from the power of the Warp ability, that Pinnacle Emissary went off on turn number 1 and sat there until the very last moment so that it could trigger the Kappa for the kill. So I've been a big fan of playing these Warp cards, and we're seeing it pay off in even more forms.
Yeah, it's crazy when you're able to get card advantage later after you already get a spurt of card advantage in the early game.
Yes, like being able to be in a situation where I've used this card, I've gotten as much as I possibly can out of this card, and I'm going to put it over here and I'm going to do that again later.
Yeah.
In this case, it's to be an artifact trigger. In some cases, there's going to be games that Marty's going to bring that out and dump a handful of zeros after he drew a bunch off another Thoughtcast or a Thought Monitor. There's going to be so many situations that if you could tell an affinity player, hey, I have a busted 1-drop, and eventually it's going to be an instrumental 3, I'll take those, right? Very reminiscent to what adventure cards do for people, right? Of being its upfront ability and having something else to pay you off later. Warp's doing a lot in the same way. It's a little different, it's a little of this, it's a little of that, but being able to have something now and something later, that's the millennial dream.
3 drops are too slow, and when they do something early, they're not too slow.
Right. Just let it do something now and do something later. Any card with and I get it now and I get it later really, really adds up. And I'm seeing there's more action, there's more magic?
More magic.
Oh, forget about it. Okay.
Well, that was a Thoughtseize.
Yeah, go for it.
So
lay it down.
Kahira in Solitude. The Wrath of the Skies was just Thoughtseize out of George Jabor's hand. He's on blue-white control, Old Faithful. And it looks like we got Derek playing Mono Black Necro, has a Bowmasters in play and is trying to march, I believe, a Narset. Narset.
Yeah, Narset.
Good call.
That's
good call.
Narset. Of course, it's Narset.
Yeah, there's one other special card that we may or may not see from George, and that's his powerful win con.
Yeah. So face up for Derek is Bowmaster and Necro Dominance. Looks like drawing up cards here. And hand face up for George, Kahira and Solitude.
This is never really where you want to be. If you're playing control, right, your opponent has way more cards in hand than you, has a card advantage engine, and the only thing that you have is threats. Your deck's not really built to be aggressive.
Derek also has the information advantage.
Yes.
Derek knows almost everything George is working with, and George does not know what Derek has, right?
Yeah.
And Derek gets to leverage this Necro dominance because George isn't applying a lot of threats right now, which means Derek can use his life as a resource. He can Thoughtseize.
Another Thoughtseize.
Because he wants to take the Solitude. So he can force George to play this out and then play other cards, right?
Yeah. He's like, hit my Bowmaster, please.
And a Subtlety.
Face up Subtlety.
Which is huge, right? This is the answer to the creature in play or the answer to the creature in hand. And we can see in Derek's hand is Shieldred, and Derek really wants to play this Shieldred.
And now he can't even pitch cast the Subtlety. He would have to tap 4 mana for it. And I think Derek is totally fine putting it on top.
Well, this is a time walk, right?
Yeah.
So in our Magic lingo, right? This is Derek using a part of his turn to take George's whole turn.
Yep.
And this 3/3, sure, fine.
We're gonna draw it with Necro.
Yeah, Derek's gonna draw. It looks like just one card, just one, just one
like,
out of the Necro.
He's like, I'll take that back. Importantly, George is up a game, so even if Derek is able to squeak it out, they got to go to a game 3.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of game 3s. So
it feels so good when you're able to have a nice, close, clean game of Magic back and forth.
yeah, and here's the deal: George's hand is Solitude and Unknown, and we know that Derek redrew the Shieldred, right? Put it on top of the Subtlety and then redrew it. Use that the 1 redraw. Here's a 3-drop out of George. And the Subtlety attack.
So it's Kahira. Now Subtlety has Vigilance and is a 4/4.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Solitude was taken by the Thoughtseize. The Kahira was left behind. I'm sorry. So no answers face up. Derek resolving Shieldred. Slamming immediate activation. Move to end step.
Kind of a problem.
So Derek goes up to 9 here. What happens is Derek is going to lose 4, draw 4, which then gains 8 through the Shieldred. So that's the number flux there, right? Went down to 1 point of light, but then gained 8 for each of those cards, back up to 9 points of life.
And importantly, he gained a bunch of life, but they haven't adjusted the life totals yet.
No, this is it. That's the full adjust.
Oh, he gained, sure.
Yeah, because Derek has to pay down to 1 and then gains up to 9. And here's an end step Disruptor Flute.
Oh my god. Now, what does he name?
What card do I not want you to cast?
Wrath of the Skies.
George with a nod, George with a nod. Tossing it back.
The really hard thing about these, like, name a card cards.
You can make or break the game based on what you name, right?
It's crazy, because sometimes your mind immediately goes to something that's not even important.
Great. Teferi 3 is the call for the Disruptor Flute here. Teferi Time Raveler. So Derek wanting to continue to interact, taking away that important tool from George.
And that makes a lot of sense, because if George's last 2 cards are Wrath Teferi, then he's able to just go, here's my Teferi, uptick, protect it for a turn, Wrath whenever I need.
Oh, that was Cycle Rafine's tower. Derek, quick as a wit, triggered the Shieldred trigger. And George scooping up. So we're looking at maybe 12, 13 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah.
Game 3 situation.
Now, who do you have favored in 15 minutes? Can George lock Derek to a point where he basically doesn't have the ability to win, or you think that the Necro deck's able to do the thing?
If you ask me on turn 0, so right now, I think Blue-White Control is most likely favored.
Yep.
If the first few turns, Derek shreds George's hand apart, then my mind changes really quickly. So that's an important part of this, that I think black decks like this are very much so in it if their early hands are aggressively shredding the control player's hand.
Yeah. That's definitely how I feel in most matchups. Is I need some form of early pressure to force them to be interactive, or have like discard in order to interrupt what their game plan is. Stick a threat and just beat them to death.
Because like if George is trying to rely on counter magic, be it spell snare, be it counter spell, be it force of negation, Derek can still weave a Thoughtseize in and take care of any of those. Weave an Inquisition of Kozilek in, take any of those. And far and away, one of the most important pieces playing against a blue-white control or a controlling deck at all is information. Seeing their hand tells you just how much you need to play around.
Yeah.
If there is that counter spell, if they have spell snare and force negation, time to cast your creature 3-drop, right? Like you can find where the holes are to push things through. So information is going to be very important early on for Derek.
And nothing feels better than knowing your opponent has a wrath, forcing them to take a bunch of damage. They're forced to use it, and then you just play another creature.
Right, like making 1 or 2 creatures must answer so that you can continue up with the rest. Big brain level ups. Oop, tapping a black source immediately.
Definitely.
Inquisition it goes like.
Oh my god.
In the 2-lander here for George, so most likely on the hunt for a Surveil to try to sculpt this hand. That's a stock up. So importantly, right, a way that if George finds the 3rd land to refuel, find even more beyond that.
Yeah, I think when your opponent has 2 lands and a bunch of good
Stock up
cards,
gone.
yeah, I agree. You kind of just have to take their card advantage. Say, I'm gonna play through all your removal. This will be fine.
Yep. There's Island in hand. Oh yeah, Island, Subtlety, Wrath, Prismatic Ending, Solitude.
Is that island or swamp?
That's an island.
They all look so beautiful.
I mean, it could be. I didn't expect a swamp, so I definitely read it as island.
No, that makes sense. I don't understand why he would have black. Maybe it's just because we saw the Rafine, right?
Okay, this is what I said. Oh, we did see Rafine Tower. You're right. There's a non-zero chance that there's some important black cards somewhere.
It might literally just be for pending.
Yeah, it could be for pending. Could be Ashiok Dream Raveler.
Oh, which card's really good against Titans?
Yeah, exactly. Also good against Neoform. Not people need to know that stuff, but that one's really good against Neoform.
No, that makes sense.
So George coming here with 3rd land in the form of this polluted delta, so drawing out of the land difficulties a little bit, but prismatic ending, no targets right now. Wrath of Skies, no target. The move is pick up Kahira for George and toss it back.
I actually really like this. You know, you play your basic planes, you say, okay, I'm going to pick up this card because I don't think you're going to do anything this turn.
Well,
If
this is the Necro turn.
If he taps out for a Necro, then next turn you get to try to just like make sure that nothing ever resolves after this. Could just do nothing.
Tap land, huge.
Could just do nothing.
George, sigh of relief. There's Thoughtseize, and there's still an Inquisition Codes like after this.
What this might be is George understanding there's more discard coming. I need to get a threat. Pressure his life total so you can't draw as much.
Right, but I think Derek's just going to keep shredding.
It's pretty bad.
Derek, slam this Inquisition. Take one more toy. Take the prismatic ending. They're all out there chuckling. I said this is the plan, right?
This makes sense, honestly. Being able to just take all your control because if they have no removal, then control's not playing control.
Now, this 3/3 that George is probably about to play, this naked subtlety, could go all the way because I can't imagine much removal still in Derek's deck.
True. Just suspends Infernal Tutor.
Profane.
Sorry.
And this might also have been part of the reason why Derek made Teferi Time Raveler be the Disruptor Flute target last game.
Sure.
Is if one of these is stuck on suspend and Teferi's in play, you do not get your spell.
Definitely.
So Derek may have been future-proofing his deck in the middle of that game as well.
I will say nothing feels better than when you turn 1 Utopia Sprawl and then turn 2 a Teferi, and then you're able to bounce your opponent's Urza Saga. Completely off topic, but that's just like such a good feeling. And rest in peace, Utopia Sprawl. Rest in peace.
The hidden card in George's hand, Lorien Revealed. So it might be working up towards an actual draw 5. It seems.
There's a Narset. It looks like is the bird.
Yeah, that's the walker.
This is George's bread and butter. Being able to just try to find a Days Undoing. Narset plus Days Undoing is pretty bad.
The difficulty here is it's not all in one turn. So you see George taking a force here. Because if George does take Days Undoing and Derek has more hand hate, you just showed him exactly which target to take, right?
That's a really good point.
In this case, if George did see it in those top cards, he can leave it in the deck, and then if he has fetches or other shuffles, might bring it back up to the top and find it with the Narset with open mana.
Yeah.
And here's the Shieldred.
We know he has the subtlety. Does he let it resolve?
Here's the deal. For George, this is a 2-for-1, and it just makes it tomorrow's problem, right?
Yeah.
Subtlety, while being good, being powerful, he kept this blue card in hand in order to use it. But that Shieldred's right on top, right? Immediately. And George has to deal with that problem again next turn.
And next turn he's already going to be pressured because his opponent gets to Demonic Tutor.
Yeah, that part's true too.
For free.
So this Narset needs to find something that can kind of interact with this squeeze that's happening right now.
I think that would be really what would be really good is a Days Undoing.
Right, this is the moment, right? This is the spot. Mana available, Derek tapped out. This is a chuckle and tossing a card into the glare. It's another Narset. It's Narset for Narset.
Yeah.
Folks are familiar with Dig Through Time for Dig Through Time. Consult the Stars for Consult the Stars. This is Narset for Narset. Stock up for Stock Up. I do that. That one I do a lot.
He's pretty good.
As you said, just push it further down the line. I'll cast it again. I'll find the other big piece.
Now, what was this one? Oh,
Fatal push.
Fatal
Wow, you're right.
Black does make sense. I guess it's a good answer for Frog, and maybe it helps against the Boros Energy matchup.
Yeah, so take it all back. I think the land face up is a swamp. I think you nailed it. I think the one hidden among the glare is actual factual swamp. Now, I'm just saying, I've been having a lot of success casting Path to Exile recently.
What's crazy is that Path is one of those cards where people forget how good it is, and they're like, "Wait, 1 mana instant speed removal. That's actually good."
Exile. Any card.
Exile.
You got Grizzlebrand, Gonzo. You got Frog, Gonzo.
Primetime,
Gone.
Emrakul.
Gone.
That one doesn't work.
Well, it depends on the Emrakul.
That's true. That's true. No, yeah. But
And then this is a March pitching black cards with no text.
Oh, Force of Despair. Remember when people were like, Force of Despair is how you beat Nadu?
That's true. Force of Despair is also how you beat Rhinos. Force of Despair is how you beat Neoform.
I think I heard a story about somebody winning a game with Nadu with 2 Force of Despairs and a packed Force of Vigor on the stack.
so here's the Force negation. Pitching Supreme Verdict. What is important is constantly over the past few turns, Derek's 1 card keeps getting 2 from George, right?
Yeah.
The Subtlety costs 2 cards. The Force costs 2 cards. Here's this Kahira, the card that George bought from the from the command zone, from the companion zone. But Derek is slowly forcing action, but Derek's running out of cards.
This might have been a surgical with how quick he asked to see the graveyard.
Oh.
It's like, I'm going to hit your...
Oh, people are chuckling. Wow, nice.
Yeah, I know. The only time that you really, draw a card, are trying to do something proactive, and then immediately ask for your opponent's graveyard, that's a surgical every time.
And removing all the solitudes, huge. George's amount of threats vastly diminished, right?
Yeah.
The only things left now are subtleties and this Kahira.
There's one more on top, I thought. Oh, there's 4. That makes sense. Okay.
So few threats now.
Well, and this is the thing, is George kind of, that turn when he bought the Kahira, he kind of just had to say, you know what? You're going to take all my cards. I'm gonna draw nothing, but this 3/2.
This Kahira needs to attack 5 more times.
It will kill you. He drew a land and passed? Or was that...
Yeah.
Was that my imagination? I think he played a land and just passed it over. He's fetching, surveilling. This is where...
Yeah, that's a shadowy backstreet. George is full Esper.
Man, this is...
We got to update this. That's
an
an Esper deck. That's an Esper deck.
It's really good. And you know what? George is in the position that he wants to be in. He's surveilling, getting lands out of the way, has as much mana as he could ask for. Like what I was saying before, where you put some creatures in play and you force your opponent to Wrath, George is forcing his opponent to play control and is not
2
control
blockers.
deck.
2 blockers.
He could ping and then block with the 1/1, keeping the original
you're
Masters
right.
in play.
You were right. You're totally right.
But he's gonna be able to push it.
The push was face up.
But it still trades.
Yeah, this is just a soft block. We send the ping at George.
Oh no.
I think guaranteeing to do something, right?
That's fair.
Here's the Bogart. Get that yard out of here.
Trades with Kahira potentially.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
But again, just playing Esper gives him so many more quality removal spells, right?
Dude, I hope George casts like Grave Titan or something cool. Like,
oh my god.
show me something for this Black Splash.
It's been so long since I've seen Grave Titan. Remember when that card was good, everyone? Remember?
Dude, just show me something cool. We got Blood Baron Viscopa. Like, what are we doing with this card?
Dude, I wish. I wish I saw Blood Baron nowadays. That was one of those cards.
Do you think George is playing Psychic Frog in his control deck? Is that what's happening?
That could...
You think there's frogs in here?
I thought he looked at the camera.
He looked me dead in my eyes, huh?
Like, you know it.
I figured out what the black was for. I figured it out. I think I figured it out.
Pretty strong.
I mean, I've seen a lot of decks splashing blue or just put the frog in. Why not splash black? Just put the frog in.
Is that a consult?
Is it a consult?
Man, I'm guessing the way he's tapping this 4 mana, he's doing it during the main phase. So he's gonna look at see?
Oh yeah. Oh, big dig here. Go off. Go off.
This is why I think that sometimes in certain decks, definitely controlled, it's better than dig through time. Like he's looking at
yes.
more
Actively
cards,
in this situation, he's seeing 1 extra card,
and
but he paid 2 extra mana.
which is true. And I think that like he bogged him, So even if he top decked it and he had dig, he doesn't have a graveyard here. He would have
Yes,
to
true, 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 true.
completely tap out to cast dig
You're
through time. And it's like situationally worse, right? But I really like it because you can cast it as a bad anticipate on 2, and then late game it scales and
Yeah.
pillage cards like pillage through the bog, pillage from the
Yep,
bog,
pillage the bog. Yep.
where you're able to just scale over the game. Like, look, this was a game 3, we were down to the wire, and he was able to just look at a billion cards. Here it went the whole way.
Unbelievable. Speed magic, right? You love to see players working fast, playing fast, and taking it down, right? The tried and true classic, the blue eye control out of Georgia, Jabbar. You know it, you love it, you've seen it, it's happening. A little splash of black. Maybe we'll find out throughout the course of the night what those cards are there for. But incredible to see, incredible to watch. Mono black had the start that we were looking for, but didn't quite put it in, right? Didn't quite nail it. Didn't get a push through the necro. Instead, got that card forced. Tried the best that they could. I'm gonna assume also pretty down to the wire, so getting pretty late into our round. So they're the last match, which means more magic coming your way ASAP. So don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back. Thank you. Number 2, Nerdage Gaming Home Store. Modern locals right here in beautiful Buffalo Grove, Illinois. I'm Dom Stryker. That's Jack, the Goblin Ringleader. And we're hitting you with round number 2 of Modern Magic. We got the goods, right?
Oh,
So
Rich versus John.
we have Rich. Rich said, and I quote, he looked at me and said, doing commentary, right? And I said, yeah. He goes, have fun. So what we're doing right now, because our players raced in here today for today's event, everyone on screen, they're starting with a brew. And then as we learn, we'll update the name.
And that's kind of a beautiful way to do it.
Pretty good, pretty fair. Love that. Richard's sleeves do look like a bee riding a motorcycle. And I know it's got to be like a swirly leaf, but it looks like he's ripping a wheelie.
Oh, dude, I should know what those sleeves are called, but I totally don't.
Oh, no, from
Is
the
it-
inventory?
Is it blister wing?
Yo, it's blister. Dog, it's blister wing.
Yeah, I think it might be like blister wing or.
All right,
something
everybody.
Crazy.
There's 3 of us on this call right now. 2 of them work in industry now. I'm sorry. What is John's deck say right now? What is that?
10.
Is that supposed to refer to Cecil?
No, it's Death Shadow because like your life totals
Right,
go up as
no,
those go. Theirs
So it
goes
is
down.
referring to Cecil. Okay, awesome. Awesome.
I see a flame wake.
No,
Phoenix.
wait. He had to have said Cecil, and they wrote what the
Oh
word
my
must have been.
God. That's,
Yeah.
that's so
It's
good.
blackmail. It's blackmail. It's blackmail.
Blackmail's really good.
Blackmail is such a cool card. Your opponent reveals 3 cards from their hand, and you thought seize one of them. Can be anything. It can be the lands. It can be anything. And that's braids.
It is so cool. It is so cool. And I will tell you that when he showed me this deck earlier, he showed me them and they're all in Russian.
Oh, in the 10 rack?
Yeah, the blackmails. are in
Okay,
Russian.
we got Russian blackmail.
I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's literally it. Yeah.
So John had revealed FOMO, Detectives Phoenix, and Thoughtseize, and Richard took the Thoughtseize away.
This makes sense.
I recently played an FNM where I played the round 3 against 8 rack. And round 4, I also played against 8 rack. People out here loving the rack.
Is it like popular or is it something that people just want to do because
I think it's popular among the people, right?
Yeah, Modern is in a spot right now where you just play the deck that you love and results be damned. That's the way the format is right now.
Including Bandits talent.
Remember this from
Bandits.
Limited?
From
Standard?
people still trying to play Pixie, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they don't play that in
Yeah.
Pix anymore.
Shout-
Stop it.
Shouts to House, yeah. Rack is one of the people's decks, right? Like it is one, you know, funny enough, you know how some people are land destruction guy, some people are elves guy, some people are 8 rack guy.
Yep.
Richard's all of those guys. He's been
Well,
literally all 3 of them.
I remember one of my first videos on my channel, I was rewatching the game that we played, and it was Elves versus Goblins.
Ooh, yeah.
He's a master of many decks. This Thoughtseize is crazy, though. Looking at a Thoughtseize, double Bowmaster, and a Blood Chief's Thirst.
Blood Chiefs theirs.
Blood Chief's Thirst secretly really busted in Modern because usually the one mana version is just gonna get it done.
So you know how a deck did show up called Black Burn, and it used like some of the black effects that were very burn adjacent? I think 8 rack is the actual Black Burn, right?
Yeah.
I think this is actually how to get a burn style strategy out of your black cards. In the same way that I think Mill is blue burn, right? How do you get this kind of hyper aggressive strategy from what you can push your color to do? I think 8 rack is kind of the burn of mono black.
I think that's a great take. And the other amazing thing about this is a lot of Modern decks right now, as you saw in round 1, are just meant to dump your hand and say, oh, I won the game, I comboed off, or I made it a really fast board. And 10 rack, 8 rack
Yeah, what hand?
is going to be really good in those matchups where you have removal and then you have these slow burn pieces over time.
Yes. And John, while he is playing a deck that does like to do a little bit of discarding, we've seen the FOMOs, we've seen the Detectives Phoenixes, I imagine he still wants to have some cards to work with.
And Richard flipped up a face down card and it was a pox.
Okay,
Small pox.
Great. So now this gets to also eat the FOMO for free.
It's really good. So Inquisition plus Thoughtseize here.
Well, that took your hand. That took your creature. This taking
Play a DRC.
sure
Definitely Delirium, right? Creature, land, artifact,
enchantment
enchantment.
from the Phoenix and the FOMO.
Now, The Phoenix is just going to be coming back.
Yeah, John's looking to collect some evidence.
I think that Phoenix is overperformed pretty much every time that I've seen it, but FOMO is also a card that's overperformed over and over. Standard staple now, would you say?
Yeah, yeah. A part of the secret power, if folks are following standard with the Is It Prowess deck, is a lot of the actual power comes from FOMO combats, profs triggers, and creatures that hit hard. And oh yeah, there happens to be this big combo finish happening. But what the way people most die is FOMO beats, deck does a stream of 5/5s, and John's kind of in that same vein of just trying to keep throwing haymaker after haymaker after haymaker.
So John made a really interesting play. He counted his types after he would have exiled the cards to the Phoenix and decided he just wants to keep his threats in play, make his opponent use removal. Potentially, if he kills his board, he'll be able to bring the Phoenix back and still have Delirium.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, right? Is Richard's done a lot of work to help fuel John for him, but he still needs to kind of weave balancing his delirium, spending his cost, putting his threats into play.
So now, a question about how it resolves. Like, what will this do? What will that do? Really interesting spot.
Okay, yeah.
Chooses to sack.
The DRC down. There is very little, but what does remain is this FOMO with delirium, which means 2 combats a turn.
Yeah, just facing down the bandits talent. Richard with the Bowmasters just needs to top deck a land, and he could potentially trade, depending.
I mean,
and waiting for John was really huge here because now he can keep Delirium, exile the cards, cast the Phoenix, bless it, and then that's 8 a turn.
Yes, a little extra to work with, a bigger combat. Okay, okay. We're seeing it. We're seeing the vision. There's FOMO, trigger FOMO, untap, hit ya.
Now, you need push or bust.
Nope. Nope.
I think that was a push.
There's smallpox.
Oh, no. Oh,
the hard part is
the pay. Oh, it was a smallpox.
the pox takes his own lands away, and Richard just getting so low on resources to fight back.
Yeah.
John probably feeling like he got away with something, right? Just weaving his cards through
very
all
close,
this.
Very, very close to like oblivion there, but being able to just have a couple.
Yeah,
again,
just one creature remains.
Yeah, a 1 mana 3/3 and a 2 mana. It was dealing 4 damage a turn, and it gave extra combats. Could get souped up with a Phoenix. Really crazy stuff. 2 really spicy brews.
Yes, this Rakdos deck, we kind of saw it supercharged because Richard helped.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure what it's trying to do on its own yet.
Yeah, it may be a Burning Inquiry deck. It could be a Goblin Lore deck, but I don't even think we didn't see any hollow ones. We didn't see any cards that make me think that maybe they're playing like discard synergies. No Makos.
Yeah, hollow one's the one that like I was expecting to see somewhere, and we're just not. We didn't see it. Again, we're assuming this deck is supposed to be called Rakdos Cecil, which means there's supposed to be maybe a little bit of that Death Shadow angle to it, right? Of having cards like Cecil and Death Shadow.
The Burn Bug.
Dude, freaking Burn Bug?
That's the
It
name.
does look like he's ripping a sick wheelie, though, still. And this is Cecil. We believe that to be Mr. Seesaw.
And you know what? It could just be a term for, hey, I deal myself a bunch of damage with my lands, and then I deal you a bunch of damage, and then you deal me a bunch of damage, and then I deal you a bunch of damage. Seesaw.
Yeah. I imagine for Richard's sideboard, he might actually be looking for just like 1 or 2 more removal spells, because truly that's what just took him out. If he can get access to a Shieldred's Edict, a couple more pushes, Black Marches, anything, just right on the razor's edge all through that game of just having kind of one too many creature to deal with, that's where I'm leaning if I'm Richard, is just trying to find just a few more answers there.
So whenever I play against a deck like this, this would be considered a prison deck, right? Traditionally, you're trying to take away your opponent's resources, take the cards out of their hand,
Sure,
and just,
yeah.
like lock them out of the game. I think that like what's really cool is Richard could bring in old school tech and Snaring Bridge.
The bridge.
And if there's a bridge in play and he doesn't have cards in his hand.
Yeah, I think the difficulty with the bridge is we saw Richard get himself down to 1 mana source.
Yeah. Maybe this is a matchup because they're playing red. You cut the poxes. You cut the things that hurt your own lands.
Interesting.
Because they probably can be much more efficient than you can. And I don't, in the pox deck, you can't really cut the pox, but maybe this is a matchup where, like we saw, you can't go down on resources. Because if he was able to get the Bowmaster in play, he had at least a chance.
Yeah. Just on that margin of it all, right? And not quite able to capitalize on the Bowmasters too. I can imagine that might be a card Richard took out because
Definitely.
everything's just so much bigger than hitting it with my deal you 1 damage.
Yeah. Gooseberry, a really weird color. I'll be I'll be honest. No, it's a good color. It's a good color, but I would say I was looking at all the different colors that Dragon Shield had, and I was like, what is? I've never seen a gooseberry. What is a gooseberry? Oh,
It's yeah.
green. Okay. That's my fault. I love I love green too. I honestly didn't know.
Everyone, welcome. There are new colors of Dragon Shields out and about. That's what we're currently chatting about.
I love for sleeves, right? I love pink, I love green, I love blue.
That's an important question. And I also a big fan of pink. Sound off in chat your go-to sleeve color.
Ooh,
This is hugely important.
it's true.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Dragon Shield? Go off.
Black matte.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
The bestseller is black matte, not close, right? Blue matte, red matte, white, purple. Yeah, the dark colors.
That makes sense. Dark purple was like, oh, dude.
Good 6 out of John.
Remember when you first started buying sleeves and there was like a treat? Eucalyptus in chat.
What do you mean there was a treat?
It was a treat when you would buy your sleeves.
I thought you were meaning like it's a Cracker Jack and I gotta find a guy in there.
No, you want to know something really interesting? When I was younger, right, I couldn't afford sleeves, so like when like the locals would be done with their sleeves, they would always ask me, "Do you want my sleeves?"
Oh, dude, base.
So they would donate the new sleeves because I didn't have money to buy my own.
And now it comes full circle. I ask you for your sleeves when you're done.
Yeah, no, it and the cycle continues. A turn 1 rack.
That's the rack. That's
deck.
the rack.
And a DRC. So we have a legacy start and an old school modern start.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the bar is favored towards Richard because, again, he was on the play. And this is definitely a format where you have to be doing your
thing. The Bowmaster got value. It killed the 1/1. It killed the 1/1.
So good. And sometimes you'll keep a hand just because you have a DRC and a lot of different ways to surveil.
Yes. Okay, and importantly, 2 things I want to point out here. John taking a mulligan is better for 8 rack, right? Because John has 1 less card to work with. But also, Richard did not do the 8 rack thing of offering the play to his opponent. Richard went first.
Yeah.
So big details to point out there.
And that might just be because his opponent's playing red and he doesn't want to give him potentially.
Yeah, don't give him the time.
That time. We saw some unholy heat on a Bowmaster. Get it out of here. Leaving behind that body because it's dumb.
And I wonder if you're Richard. I think Richard kind of very aggressively was shredding John's hand in game 1. I wonder if we're going to see kind of a lean back, slowly take your time so you can kind of get the value most out of each card. Sometimes that can be difficult when your deck is all in, is to kind of take your foot off the pedal a little, but sometimes it's the right thing to do. And mill that land over, taking a peek at our Mishra's Bauble, cracking our Mishra's Bauble, taking a peek at, at Richard's top.
Another rack.
The rack.
2 of 10.
The rack. Oh, yeah. Just slam the rack, shred a card out of the hand, and watch the effect take over. Ooh, he's going to go the rack into Bandit's Talent.
It's pretty good.
Now, Bloodchief's Thirst.
Playing it very safe, saying, hey, I died last game.
This is the thing, right? Richard needs to take the time to weave in taking care of these cards. Bandit's Talent. Discard 2 cards unless you discard a real spell.
Pitch 2 lands.
Yeah, dude, there's 10 racks now.
You know what I want to see in Modern Horizons 4, which won't happen.
No, please stop.
Modern Horizons 4, I want to see a rack of racks, and it's just like 3 racks stapled together on 1 card. Just like we have Mogmob.
Dude, the commander players will eat that up.
Yeah, it'll be funny.
Oh, this hand being shredded. Richard taking his own hand out of the game.
Is the rack symmetrical?
Is the rack symmetrical?
Choose an opponent. Beautiful. You
Awesome.
don't even have to worry.
Ding. Fries are done. G2. Dunzo. Quick mulligan out of John. Richard, again, taking the chance. Got to turn the Bowmaster into a removal spell. Got to cast 1 more. John ran out of threats, ran out of hand, ran out of life total.
And honestly, that's just how you drew it up. If you're Richard, right, you kill the things and you get your threats in play. Your threats being the rack, and then you just kind of wait.
And then you just kind of wait. Folks, while they're sideboarding, let's talk to you about some live events happening here at the Nerd Rage Gaming home store.
Very exciting.
While these players are going through this, again, queuing up for a very eventful G3. If you want to play some impactful Magic the Gathering, there are 2 tournaments remaining in the Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series for Q2 of fall 2025. We're talking the September event, September 13th and the 14th. And if you go, isn't that coming soon? Yes. Yes, it is. In Mundelein, Illinois, the 10K Modern Showdown on Saturday, and then the 5K been split into 2 2.5Ks. One Edge of Eternities Limited, and the other being Legacy. So if you're looking to get that little bit extra fit, again, Nerd Rage putting a big emphasis all through this season on finding the right formats for the right people. Legacy, Pauper, Sealed, getting it all out there to figure out what the people are after. Come and vote with your event participation September 13th and the 14th. And then beginning November in Elmhurst, 10K team standard sealed modern, followed by a 10K modern on Sunday. So if you want to battle just like the folks happening here, but on the big stage, these are your 2 options remaining for the end of the year.
And it's always such a good time to see your friends and then go to these events and just play players who are more familiar with the format than you. You'll take some losses, but you'll learn a lot.
The games are good. A lot of good games.
Double Leyline start, you gotta love it.
Leyline of the Void, yeah, you're speaking to Jack's heart. Richard knows.
This is why we play it. He's like, I didn't have to spend any mana on this.
Nothing, Nunzo.
Now you have to deal with it.
Yeah, when Richard draws the 3rd one, he's going to feel so smart.
Yeah.
Just going to discard that to Smallpox, right?
Like, this is fair. This is how we drew it up.
The only time you caught me playing ley lines is when I could pitch them to Grief.
That makes sense.
I need a use for these cards. Bitter Triumph helps a little too. Another use for actually pitching your ley lines, but Richard put them to good use here.
If you were playing against Grief in Modern and before it was banned, would you rather play Leyline of Sanctity or Leyline of the Void, and why? I preferred Sanctity.
Sanctity.
Yeah, they just don't take your cards.
It also pitches a Solitude.
That's fair. we played it in Goblins, but yes.
Oh,
no.
Yeah,
but
but
for your
Sanctity
deck,
good.
Yeah.
Don't toss it. Leave me alone.
It's really good. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Void is not even good enough. They get the first hit still.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Burn, because Chalice plus Sanctity used to be so good, but Burn just doesn't exist anymore. Those cards aren't playable.
Now here's the FOMO, discarding a DRC, gone forever, into the Void. And this FOMO getting Delirium, I don't think so.
It's so painful. Certain cards just rely incidentally on the graveyard, and then you get in positions like this where you're like, oh, this card's good, but like, is it good without everything else?
Right. If you're John, you really want to find your Death Shadow, your Cecil, something to help you to smash through.
Mind Wrench. Discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact. He discarded a bauble.
Oh, nice value for John.
So he's like, I can do this.
Yeah, I can discard an artifact, no question, no problem.
But now, Cycle of Street Wraith.
Gone forever. Unholy Heat, that's just shock.
Yeah, looking not the greatest when you're staring down no creatures.
Yeah, FOMO, it's a 2/3. It's trying.
A better Grizzly Bear, right? So it could go the whole way, but it's not likely.
There's another FOMO. John needs to send a card to the Shadow Realm, never to be seen again. It's another bauble. Gone.
No land.
No land.
Against the Smallpox deck, this could be bad.
The Bandit's Talent.
This is really good.
2 cards, please. I know you don't have lands, so you're going to give me a real card.
Slow, inevitable. This is why it's called the rack. It's slowly tearing you apart.
Slowly quarters you. Just slowly does it.
Like, please stop.
Bobble down.
Like, I'm not going to use these baubles.
Yeah, I guess John does not want to cycle. He's just using them for resource. And then push it.
Push it real good.
So that FOMO down. John kind of running out of threats. And the rack proper is down. John running out of threats. Running out of cards. Has an Unholy Heat in hand. And Kolagon's Command. Discard that card in your hand.
Ooh.
Drop it. Drop it.
Bowmasters.
Oh my god, it is the Bowmasters.
Oh, that's so good.
Good call. Deals the damage and then destroys the rack, right? The artifact destruction part of Kolaghan's command coming up.
Worst case scenario is 2 chumps here. Pays 3 to level up the bandit talent. All
Yep,
the
I believe
way.
that's what turns it into racks 9 and 10.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's a rack that also has discard staple to it.
Yep. Because now this second part, being each opponent's upkeep, if they have 1 or fewer, they take 2, so it becomes a rack.
And it also is your Phyrexian arena, but it doesn't make you lose life. Instead, it just requires they don't have a lot of cards. So next turn, he could theoretically activate it.
So yeah, Richard gonna send the Orc army under the bus. Here's a graveyard trespasser. No creatures to eat out of Richard's graveyard, so just is what it is.
3/3 body is pretty good though.
I just don't get this card. People keep playing graveyard trespasser, and I just don't get it. I just don't. I'm trying. I don't get it. Here's a band's talent. Give me your cards. Give them, John. Just give them. Meltdown, Gonzo. Last card in hand is the Unholy Heat to try to deal with the Orcish Bowmaster.
And this is what we were talking about, right? If he's able to get to the point where he locks his opponent out, because now he's just able to deal more damage than John can. And even if he gets that Cecil in his hand in play, I believe he has a Cecil.
Ooh, no spells for John. Interested in flipping the Graveyard Trespasser. I know that it has a back. That makes me less interested. What's the question? Richard, big rips, big draw.
He has a chump.
Has a chump. Can activate the Phyrexian Arena mode on the Bandit's talent. Crunch.
Oh my god.
The smocks.
He's like, hey, I can lose a creature, can you? This 1/1's can go
I mean,
to the Shadow
it's
Realm.
the FOMO.
Yeah.
It's the FOMO. Dog, it's the FOMO. What even is the question? It's the FOMO. It's 4 power versus 2 power. What's happening? Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Oh, discard the Cecil.
He does have the Cecil, yeah.
Discarding it. Gonzo. Cecil to the Shadow Realm. Happy to see you, buddy. No, it's not Seesaw. It's Cecil.
I think that's the funniest name that I've ever heard, though. Rakdos Seesaw.
We used to get this a lot. Folks working the front desk and players explaining what deck they're playing. And the front desk does not ask questions. They go, yep, sounds good. Right. But, like, even though these names are made up, they just go, sounds good. Write it down. Rakdos Seesaw, you got it. Richard taking a big hit there.
Drained and then attacked.
And John basically forced to keep a second card in hand to not get shredded by these rack effects.
He has 2 cards in hand.
Into 4 power creature.
Does he die?
So 1 damage from the rack in the upkeep for John. A DRC.
No creatures, so he'll go to 1.
Go to 1.
No burn.
Keeps the cards in hand. Just keeps the cards in hand.
That's another smallpox? Mind
But
wrench?
Richard can't take 1 himself. Blackmail.
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 Takes the Unholy Heat, and then
John just held the cards in. He just held them.
oh my god.
He just held them. The band's talent needs you to be at 1 or 0. John just kept his 1 threat in play and just kept the cards in hand.
The power of 1 creature. That was so close. I was sure that Richard was going to get there.
Power of just having the 1 creature.
See, this is why Modern Horizons 4 needs 3 racks.
No.
He
John won.
Yeah,
John attacked and killed Richard because John held his cards in hand so that he did not get racked out. Jeez.
very well played by both players.
Whew. Back a match. Done.
They're too fast.
Dude, players out here playing, all right? Getting it done, playing the good cards, battling through. We just saw Rakdos Seesaw and the rack. But, I mean, we got a little bit of time. Haviva, do we have stuff that we need to tell the people? Any goods? Any locals? Any nerdragegaming.com? Any TCG Player Pro Store? Let's take a little peek-see here. Wednesday. So you can see it down there at bottom left. That's right here, right now. 6:30 MTG Modern. Every week. As long as there's not a Nerd Rage games happening, as long as Haviva's dog ain't yapping, it's a happening. All right? It's out here. Thursdays, they got Elder Dragon Highlander and the Pokemans streaming live. Tons of time for the Pokemon team as well. Friday, we got that Boomer Zoomer night. All right? I heard folks at the last NRG all the way in Lansing asking if the Nerd Rage home store does Legacy, and I'm here to tell you, yes, they do. Tons of folks showing up. We we have more folks at Legacy than we have at Standard, right? We're talking 12, 14, 16 people at Legacy, but Standard going strong right alongside it, and One Piece as well. The Saturday into Monday loop is that time for those folks to enjoy Digimon, but Monday, Elder Dragon, Highlander as well. And Tuesdays, you playing the goods. We talking One Piece, we're talking Lorcana, we're talking Flesh and Blood. And Wednesdays, here, folks are playing Gundam. All right? Games on games on games. NerdRageGaming.com. If you want to pick up the cards to play these lovely games. If you want to play Magic, NerdRageGaming.com. Pick the Magic cards. Get the singles. Put them on your wish list. Make your credit amount go up. Loyalty program starting at 1%, all the way up to 10% kick back on your orders. The more you spend, the more you can get back. And if you play any of the other games or you're looking for beautiful Magic foils, you can find them at nrg.tcgplayerpro.com. Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, Gundam, Magic foils, One Piece, Flesh and Blood, Lorcana. So many card games. You can find them at the nrg.tcgplayerpro.com. And with that, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a moment. We're gonna hang out with the dog. You guys don't know it, but boy is she cute.
Should we put her on stream?
Okay, everyone. Do you want to see? Do you want to see?
You swap with me.
We're just gonna take a moment. Folks will remember. Folks may know. Wonderful Haviva Goodman used to be here in the booth, rocking the directorial spot now. Beautiful new pupper. Check out this friend.
Hi guys.
Look, they're so nice. They're so lovely. The dogger, so nice, so kind, so lovely.
This is JoJo. Her full name is Jolene.
Everyone say hi. Be nice in chat.
JoJo. Yeah,
Look at
say
her.
hi to everybody. Oh my goodness.
She's been here the whole time. You guys didn't even know. But now you know.
She's been so good.
She's been so good.
Store dog.
So again, be nice, be kind, say hi.
All right, I have to go hit the.
Yeah.
Go to add
We
button.
actually
Hold
we're
on.
gonna sit right here as long as possible.
We're just gonna be very awkward, and everyone's just going to stare at us, and we'll stare back at you.
There we go. Someone's saying Jolene. That's the
Jolene.
code. That's
Jolene.
that's the activate.
Type code Jolene into nerdrategaming.com for 5% back.
Yeah. Nothing will happen, but the dog will get one scritch for every Jolene put in the box. If you put Jolene in the comments of your nerdrategaming.com order, is one guaranteed scritch that we'll give the dog right here, right now, today or any day, because you can't stop me. We'll be right back for round number 3. Don't go anywhere. Bye. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to round number 3, Nerd Rage Gaming Home Store, beautiful Buffalo Grove, Illinois, Modern Magic the Gathering. Dom Striker, Jack Shrupick.
What's up?
We're here for even more magic. We digged. We found them. People you have not seen yet. Games that you could not even imagine. And they're happening right here, down at the table.
Now, my buddy Alex has been on kind of a tear recently playing
Oh, yeah.
Infect.
But not just Infect, not just any old Infect.
Tifa.
Tifa.
Here's a Final Fantasy card that is not VV
Okay.
performing.
It is very funny to me that I think there are basically 3 cards from Final Fantasy performing well. VV, Sephiroth, and Tifa. And it's like, yeah, dude, characters.
Yeah, 1000%.
People knew these ones. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. I knew Sephiroth, I knew Tifa, right? And on the left side, okay, talk to me. I'm seeing Gorios and Malevolent Rumble and FOMO. We got Jund Reanimate. We got a Jund deck over here.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, yeah. Alex is back. Noble Hierarch, Breeding Pool.
You know what? Alex used to play Goblins, and so this is his...
He keeps it up with the Eggies.
His tip to the Goblins. He's like, I just don't want to play it so bad right now.
But also, I think he's looking for additional Hierarchs, right? He has the full 4 Noble and even more Ignobles on top of it. Because with Tifa having the doubling power ability, any additional point goes so much further in your Tifa doubling.
And Alex is so cool because he's been playing Manamorphose and Street Wraith and random decks for the longest time.
He's gonna get them taken away from us.
Just because they're cards that replace themselves, and basically they're free ways to draw cards.
Street Wraith, Manamorphose, Mishra's Bauble. If we're not careful, they're gonna take those away from us.
Yeah, they're free cards. Free card advantage is always strong.
Arden, the Usurper. This is basically the card his entire deck is built around.
I've never seen it.
Ardyn. Arden, the Usurper.
I've never
Yeah, and it's Goriosable.
Here's the thing. I've seen it. I've never seen it in play.
Run it down.
8 mana for a 4/4. Demons you control have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste.
Okay.
Star Scourge?
Sure.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you exile the card this way, create a token. It's a copy of the card, except it's a 5/5 black demon.
Oh.
Dumb.
And I know a part of this is we've seen
Here's the Manamorphose.
yeah, we've seen Z use this to throw Ulmugs at their opponents. I've seen him use it to big FOMO smash people.
Manamorphose number 2.
Yeah, just keep cycling.
He had 3 in his hand.
Find the goods. Yeah, get those 3 out of there. Get the real cards.
So he basically cast Ancestral. It took him 3 different cards to do it, but it was free.
Well.
And if his end game here was just play Blighted Agent no matter what, right? Or no, that's a Blossoming Device.
So when you cast Recall, you're +2 cards.
Yeah.
When you cast 3 Manamorphose, you're +0 cards.
Oh. The red mage.
I'm sorry about your bubble.
The red mage in me is like, it's the same. It's the same.
Like, you got to think about it in terms of stock up. Stock up is a +1 card, right? At the end of it, you have 1 additional card in hand. Whereas Manamorphose, you have +0, right? At the end of its resolution, you're not up a card. You have a new card. You have card filtered.
Sure.
But you have not advantaged, right? You have not gone up on cards.
That's a good point. It's card selection then.
Yup.
It thins your deck.
Yes, that's very important, right? Of just having raw cards or having card selection. And I'm saying this is still great, right? It's helping Alex to have all killer, no thriller, or no filler, right? It's just like, it's all killer, all thriller, no filler, right? It's just only the goods and cards to get you closer to them. That I love. That I can respect. That I am with. Oh.
All right. It looks like he.
Okay. Okay.
Was it Shifting Woodland?
Okay.
Become a copy.
Okay. Okay.
Attack.
This is a 5/5 token of Arden, as created by using the Shifting Woodland. So then, when the token came in play, the Woodland and the Arden are both Arden. So legend rule, Z is keeping the token and losing the Woodland. And this is just a
representation.
Yes, this is the Arden is technically exiled. This is technically a token. This is technically a 5/5 token version of the card.
And
But
Alex not really having anything but some pump spells in his hand is in a pretty tough spot.
yep,
Zenith.
Green Sun for 2. Who could it
Ooh.
possibly be?
Well,
It's Tifa.
this could be pretty good. This could be pretty good.
It's Tifa. Who else but Tifa? The important part is our General Animator players can try to put blocking forces together, right? Trying to get cards in front of this. Oh, this is Flashback Faithless Looting.
Basically allows you to put any creature.
And now the Arden does have an activated ability, right? So that's an important part too, is Z's doing this card filtering and getting FOMO out of the yard. It's a 5/5 FOMO. And now these cards are ready to do battle. So, very importantly, right, this FOMO gets to attack in. I think possibly Delirious as well, right? Yeah, untapping itself. Getting in for damage. And then going to another combat, getting another FOMO, battling in with both of these, and now getting a trigger from the new Fear of Missing Out. And Alex picking him up, just getting absolutely smushed. This is Arden, the Usurper. We're going to throw it up on the board once again because this is very important for the folks at home to see. This is the card that really just took that match home for our Jund Gorios player. So what happened here is this card was milled over using a Malevolent Rumble. A Shifting Woodland was played with exactly 4 mana sources. The Woodland was activated to become a copy of Arden in the graveyard. Then when its ability happened, it made a copy of the Arden from the graveyard. Now seeing 2 Ardens, sacrificing the Shifting Woodland, Z keeps the original Arden. Then, on the following turn, use that Arden to bring back a Fear of Missing Out with Delirium, which not only do we get to attack, but we get an additional combat. In that additional combat, Z brought back another Fear of Missing Out and went to combat once again. So there's still, on top of everything else, there would have been one more combat after all of those. And this is the engine, right? This is what this deck is designed to do, is to use FOMO, to use Arden, to use Self-Mill, to just push damage far faster than people think that you can.
And Arden's one of those cards where it's like sometimes so much better than Grizzlebrand because the issue
Excuse me?
so
What did you just say with your mouth to me?
you can draw 7 cards, but if your opponent is a Solitude, sometimes you would rather just be able to get multiple bodies back and do those tricks that you were talking about where if they don't have anything.
But if your opponent has a Solitude, you never even get to combat with this thing.
I guess
wait a second. Wait a second.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Maybe it's not better than Grizzlebrand, but in that position, he was able to create more bodies,
Yeah.
go wider.
The thing with current big reanimation effects that Z is not leaning on is a lot of them are meant to enter, gain a bunch of value, and maybe kill someone, right?
Yeah.
Atraxa does this, Grizzlebrand does this. Z instead has Arden and Ulamog the Defiler, where it's like, well, I don't need value if you're dead.
Ulamog is insane.
Yes. Because very importantly, the real card gets exiled, and you make a token. The token sees the real one in exile, and it has a 5/5 with 10 +1/+1 counters on it, and haste and Annihilator 10. So you swing, and if your opponent somehow can deal with the Annihilator 10 and the 15 damage, there's nothing left for them to do.
Yeah, Annihilator is one of those mechanics where, as soon as it really turns it sideways, the game usually ends.
Yes. So Alex, I think now understanding that this is a race. This is a battle, right? This is just going to be these players going as fast as they possibly can. The thing is the Jund deck could have Fatal Pushes, could have Thoughtseize, could have way to take stuff away from Alex. And Alex is just going to have Veil of Summer and a Prayer.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, when you're playing Alex is playing a combo deck.
Yeah, basically, right?
Creature plus pump spell equals dead. So
Yes, that's the formula.
And so as long as he's able to protect his threat, pump it up sufficiently large, just win the game.
Easy, right? Very importantly, we always talk about the importance of this. Alex is going to be on the play. So with your aggressively slanted mono green deck that may not have the most interaction, the plan is get him dead. Being on the play just makes that just a little bit faster.
And in every format, you want to be on the play. Depending, maybe the rack wants to be on the draw.
I mean, we even saw that maybe time gone by because we saw that our player even took the play playing the rack. So we are in a time and an era in a world where folks want to be on the play.
Yeah, and we get to see a turn 2 Tifa. Both players kind of just playing
Woo! Lightning fast out of these two.
playing lands and passing. I think both these players want to end the game as quickly as possible. Their game plans usually work when they're, going
Yeah.
quick, hitting
With
hard.
this speed, it sounds like they want the actual game and the game within the game to be over as fast as possible. Just zooming through these first few turns. Tifa locking it down, hanging out. But that's the question. Is there going to be Fatal Push? Is there going to be a bitter triumph? Is there going to be a bitter reunion? Like, what is our Jundriaman player going to possibly do to try to stop Tifa Lockhart?
Bins the Faithless Looting.
Is Lockhart the right last name?
I think so.
Nice.
I know nothing about Final Fantasy.
Same.
I played it on stream because I told the people, I'd be like, I don't know any of these cards. I'll play the important games. We did a poll. We played the games. Still don't know who any of these cards
What
are.
game? What game did you play?
We started with 13. then
What?
we went 6.
Wait, how do you not just play 7?
Then we went 6. Then we went 7. Then we went 10. And I think we.
Wow, you played all those and you
Yeah,
still have a
Advanced
blank slate? Dang.
Well, I understand who the characters are, but
sure.
I only could play like 2 or 3 hours of each game. It
Okay.
was still an 8-hour stream.
Well,
I
like,
was this-
Final Fantasy doesn't get going until 10 plus hours into their games.
And you know what? That's what I learned. All of the games that I got to play were very surface level, and I was like, oh, this would have been cool. On to the next one.
Here's another Thoughtseize continuing to try to rip apart what Alex Luke has going on. Abrupt Decay dealt with Tifa, and now Thoughtseize taking down a Vines of the Vastwood, leaving Pump Spell, Flood Maw.
That was the creature off the top.
Okay, huge for Luke. Alex Luke needing this.
Kasmaka. We're gonna try to make it big. Fire magic in
magic?
response.
Okay, did you
Oh.
see the aggression, the nonchalant, the flick of putting this fire magic on the stack?
Could cast in response the other scale up with the ignoble. Doesn't. Just plays Glissa. Or
No, a scale up's a sorcery.
Oh, it's a sorcery. Oh, I take it back.
Because the become 6 power is at least at a certain power threshold that they wanted to make sure that was a sorcery. And you see Alex just nodding along as the push takes down this last threat
And the Vines was a very important take because
to protect from all this,
yeah,
right?
it takes the hexproof, and Vines is a good pump spell.
What?
This is, I think, Sultai,
Yeah.
Sultai Infect.
Labrewski for Alex Lukski. Sultai Infect deck. Little Tifa, little Infect, little Malevolent Rumble, 4Z. Oh, look, Atraxas.
And you don't want to see that. because-
Yes, I do. Oh, sorry. You mean if I'm Alex Luke in this situation, I don't want to see my opponent hitting them big bangers like this. And here we see an immediate Gorios because of the Scion given.
Do you unsummon it?
Well, first big trigger. Seeing tons of Arden, seeing Ulamogs, seeing Final Fantasy Swamp, seeing Malevolent Rumble.
Rumble, one of those cards that kind of has just become
Goated.
a staple in every
I-
format.
Saw this in the spoiler and I was like, y'all, I swear this is real.
Yeah, I mean, it just reminds me a lot of 1 mana. Look at the top 5. Colorless card in your hand. The rest of the bottom in your order.
Ancient Stirrings. I think this card is just legit Green Ponder.
That's
It
a good
is.
way to look at
It is. Once you are beyond turn 1, the mana it actually costs you overall is 1. You get your top 4 cards. When your deck is built well, all of your selection of things you're looking for are in there. That's kind of the part of what this Jund deck worries me in its power and longevity is when you Malevolent Rumble, the card you're looking for is Gorios, and the only card you can't take is Gorios.
It's a great point.
So that scares me, but
Another.
it doesn't
fire-
matter if you just keep smushing.
Yeah, and this is definitely where the Jund deck is gonna kind of start to
Yeah.
shine. Alex might be in this situation you're playing 3 colors for a reason. Maybe you want to play Bladed Agent, but you also are playing Phyrexian Crusader for Boros. A Phyrexian Crusader coming down could be one of his best shots here, but we know his hand, and he's got so many different ways to kill him at this point.
Yeah, but if Alex Luke's remaining 2 cards is Green Source Pump Spell, he could kill Z out of nowhere here.
And that's the beauty of this combo deck, right? You hold the power in your hands.
but I think the goal here is to try to Goryo's an Ulamog with an Atraxa already in exile, which would be for Annihilator 7.
Yeah.
But players playing Lightning Fast and into the Flood Maw happened on something.
Bounce the Arden back to the hand.
Here's another Goryo's.
This one's bringing back the Ulamog.
Yeah.
The first one was a pump fake because he knew that the Into the Flood Maw was in the hand.
Yep, face up.
Had to use it.
Here's 7, Annihilator 7. I'll take those lands, please.
Infinite pain.
Take me to the backup match. We're out of here.
We were talking about,
Toodaloo, everyone.
Alex playing a combo deck, and you know what? They both were playing combo decks because
Right. The thing is the left side with interaction. We saw Thoughtseize, we saw Push, we saw Fire Magic. Just the decks with a bigger flourish like that can say, give me a second, give me a moment, give me some time. I'm going to build up. I'm going to stop you, and then I'm going to rumble in for me. So that's kind of exactly what happened there, right? Is interact, sweep your board, figure your stuff out, slam my threat, right? Because the Jund deck is in no rush. It can have tons of time to set up and interact, and we saw exactly that happen.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if he was able to draw some graveyard hate out of the side, but it's tough when your opponent has threat plus interaction, right?
Right. Like, we can imagine maybe that Into the Flood Maw is the sideboard card, just
Sure.
a one-size-fits-all catch-all sideboard card, and it did, but your opponent just had go for it twice, and you interact with A, but didn't get to interact with B.
No, and that's the beats.
We're right now checking on our backup feature, and here they are. Richard on the left side, 10 rack. Raymond on the right side with Naya Landfall.
We've seen both these decks on camera before.
And this is going to be a very different game, as Richard here with a Shadow of Doubt in response to Raymond cracking a fetch land.
Now, what does Shadow of Doubt do for the people?
Players can't search libraries, draw a card.
It's so good. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Double hybrid.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really good. You can play it in mono black.
Yeah,
you can
sure
play it
can.
in mono blue.
Hybrid's powerful. There's-
Neoform? Good against Neoform?
Very good against Titan. There was a non-zero there's a non-zero amount of time where George DeBoer, you may know him,
No, legend.
was playing Shadow of Doubt in blue-white control during like the heyday of Titan stuff, right? Of being like, we can't let these people be searching. And then every now and again, it's just Stone Rain as you do in response to a fetch land, as Liliana of the Veil comes down probably to try to eat away at Raymond's board state.
Lily is one of those cards that goes up and down in playability, depending on how the format is, if it's too fast, if it's too combo-centric. But, I mean, in this deck, it's just a staple. You're always going to see Lily with the rack.
It rotated out of Standard after seeing very little play in the 3 years it was there.
And that's how powerful Standard is. Here's my hot take. I think Standard is just as fast as Modern.
Okay.
I think that, like, pre-bannings, it was a turn 3, turn 4 format. Now with Vivi, it's pretty much a turn 4 format. And a lot of decks in Modern are turn 3 formats. But, I mean, like, if you look at it relatively, Standard is just so much more powerful than it used to be. Like, remember when we had Lingering Souls in Standard? You put the Lingering Souls deck that was in Standard up against a Standard deck of
Yeah.
today.
I don't know if I would refer to it like along lines of power level, but the amount of time in literal amount of turns in Standard has gone dramatically down, which
Yes.
then gives you that comparison point where actually a lot of modern games, when people are not interacting with each other, go that quickly, but Modern has the tools to interact, and that's where that conversation comes from. Raymond just cast Dawn's Truce. Can we just put some Dawn's Truce up for the folks?
Oh, that's a Standard staple.
Is it?
Come on.
Says who?
We played in. We want to play it in Boros Goblins. But
Who's we?
Boros Charm's just better.
You. In permanency control game, hexproof. If you give him the gift, right? You give him the gift,
Indestructible.
also gain indestructible.
So here's your heroic intervention.
Yeah,
but
in white.
In white. And you just got to give him a card.
Raymond did it in response to a hand attack spell, just to use the spell, cast the spell. Here we got old Bristly Billiam taking down Liliana the Veil. Richard's hand empty. Raymond's board big. Huge moment incoming here for Richard. Rips off the top. And is the overlay correct? Raymond took down game number 1? Yes. Okay, so Richard most likely trying to bring an interaction for creatures, but we're in the same situation we saw Raymond before. One threat remains, and that one threat might be the one that tries to push through.
Yeah. and just being able to activate Bill, really good here.
Oh, double the counters, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Crunch?
Everybody forgets that there's an activated ability on this card.
May I interest you in Crunch? Fetch land from the Ren 6. Trigger Bill. I mean, activate Bill, go to work, right? Whew.
I really want the blue-red deck that plays Vivi and Cauldron to play green so they can play the Plant Hydra that puts counters on all your dudes to make all of them Vivis.
Okay, we're spitting.
I just think that it'd be really cool to see like a bajillion Vivis. I had the idea with Krenko. I was like, what if all my creatures were, were Krenkos?
Yo, you should play Ouroboros in Goblins. That would go hard.
I think it'd be really cool.
Okay, we're talking.
Always brewing.
Raymond with exactly 10 counters on the bill. Click the button, double them up. That's
Jeez.
20 counters.
Jesus.
Richard, how good is the card in your hand? No way. No way. He's kidding. He's faking. He's faking.
Blackmail.
He's faking. Congratulations to Raymond.
Well played.
Truly a feat to play your creature-based aggro deck and to be able to take down mono black in any way, shape, or form, right? The ability for hand attack, removal. But still, one threat remains. That one threat was Bill. And over just a couple of turns, smushed on in there.
Yeah, he's got the cowboy hat. He tipped his cap and walked away.
Yeah, he did the gentleman's. He said pistols only on the count of 10. They spun around and down went the 10 rack, 12 rack, 8 rack, however many racks you want and you need. They're done. They're down.
He broke the rack.
Yeah, Nile Landfall coming in, crushing it, taking them down. Raymond Perkins, local brewer, continues to brew. Naya, I mean, taking it down. I think he's 2-1 on the night. Great to see. Absolutely great to see. If you want to play high-level Magic, we were talking about this earlier today. This is the updated and beautiful graphic from Mundelein, Illinois, September 13th and 14th. Not this coming weekend, but the one right after that. You can be in the competitive saddle on Saturday, 10K Modern Showdown. If you're enjoying what you're seeing here, this is a spot to do it on the big stage with people like Kamari Bolger and Will Kruger. And on Sunday, 2.5K split event. Legacy, if that's your jam, or Edge of Eternity sealed. People have been loving this limited format. Here's a spot to, experience it. Put it up. All up to you. And on that Saturday, that's a Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series showdown. That means that the winner of the event, auto queues for champs. But the part that people talk about the most casual chatter, the conversation between rounds when laying in bed and thinking beautiful dreams is, if I win this whole event, what token am I making? These players that you see before you have won events in the Nerd Rage Gaming Series and got to make these tokens. We're talking Matt Hoey with the GOAT eating the Norm Bucks. We are talking Nikachu with the Hexproof Merfolk token. We're talking the team of Ken, Ty, and Justin Brickman taking it down, making the Construct token. Dom Harvey with the back-to-back weekend, 2 trophies, 1 token for your floating mana. May French with food with a little Shardless Agent sponsoring in the back. Sean Gallagher, the Samurai token for Wandering Emperor. And Theo Young, maybe the most tokens ever made on the Nerd Rage Gaming Series. Most recently. That's not even true. This is the second most recent token Theo has made. This is the energy token, and the most recent was the 1/1 cat for being the overall champion for the Nerd Rage Series 2024, which means Theo punched that ticket early on to be seen in the 2025 Champs event. And if you want to join us, there's just a few showdowns left to go. Big events, big tokens to be won. But also there's a team portion. Here's the portion on Sunday. So if you want to chat with folks about your favorite formats, either for the Nerd Rage Gaming local home store or for the Championship Series at large, join in, get chatting with folks, and very importantly, that last event of the year has that big team event that you might be on the lookout for, that sealed expert, that person who's just been grinding tons of boxes on Arena Direct. Maybe you're looking for a modern specialist, or you're looking for someone who knows how to play standard. These are great spots to link up, find teammates, and find folks you can play with, talk with like-minded folks, and even possibly find some to work with and team with. All available at the Nerd Rage Gaming Discord, one for the home store and one for the series. With that being said, folks, we're going to take a look around. We're going to see what all the goods are. We're going to check in with our undefeated players. And no matter what, we'll be back for round number 4. Before you know it, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. everybody, and welcome back to the final round here at the Nerd Rage Gaming home store in beautiful Buffalo Grove, Illinois. It's time for the final. Dom Striker, Jack Strepik. You're going to see a deck that you've already seen today in the Seesaw, or Rakdos Cecil, a little take on just kind of just grindy, mid-rangey stuff. And maybe the boogiest of boogies, the boogeyman, if you will, of modern, Amulet Titan. It's been good through blood and blood and blood and blood and blood and blood and blood, and it's still good today. And the player out there is very good on Titan. So we're going to see our undefeated players down here in the feature match, rolling for who's going first. John on the left side with Rakdos, Isaac Van Til on the right side with Amulet Titan. John said out loud, "This is a horrible matchup for me, but I do have 10 sideboard cards for it."
I mean, sometimes you have to be prepared, and Amulet is one of those decks that anytime you see it at a tournament, you know it has the chance to win the whole thing.
Yes, I will, in a modern event, if I was a gambling man, which I'm really not, and you told me there was a good Amulet Titan player in the room, bet it all, right? Like, that is
This
just...
hand is stacked. It's got double Saga, Amulet of Vigor.
yeah,
I was going to say,
yeah.
he showed us.
Isaac
'cause
showed
it's got,
off, dude.
It's got Summoner's Pact. It's got Prime Time. It has literally everything. And it's got the Splunking, and it looks like a Crumbling Vestige, too. So they'll be able to play the Splunking next turn.
The issue for Isaac is going to be actual factual mana sources, right? You got to count to 6. Here's a Cecil. Here's a DRC. Here's a Bobble. Sure. Isaac. Your top card can't be another Amulet, dude. But it is. Top card, second Amulet for Isaac Van Til.
This hand couldn't get better.
It's going to try. Crumbling Vestige is going to make 3 total mana for the Spelunka Dunk.
There's a bounce
Draw a
land.
card. There it is, dude. Now this is 4
He's
mana.
shaking his head because this is actually the best hand.
Yeah. Now that's 4. Very importantly, that's 4 mana. This is
Yes.
Hey, you ready? This is Summoner's Pack for our Boreal Grazer, I bet.
1000%. It's a ritual.
It is.
It's a ritual.
And now cast Grazer. Do it again. So this was 4 mana plus 4 up to 8.
He's like, and I
Grazer
have,
down
and
to
I
7.
have the
Titan
prime
and
time.
Dunzo. Pew 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 pew.
And look at Isaac. He's like, I didn't even start doing the thing.
Yeah,
and John's
it's
like,
too late.
I understand what's happening. You don't understand. how
Because
dead
like
I
the
am."
worst thing that could happen for Isaac is like 12 Titans in play, and the
Yeah.
best thing that happened is John's just dead.
Yeah.
John understands.
And
John's got a bus to catch, you know.
yeah, and you see Isaac shaking his head 1000%, being like, "Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen." Like, what
Well-
do you mean I won?
Well,
I think sometimes like you play the game and you expect your opponent to be like your worst matchup, even if they're really good against you, or even if they're like a deck that you have a good matchup against. Sometimes it's good to think about it like, if they were to crush me, what would they cast? What kind of cards could they have? Isaac was probably like thinking about Thoughtseize there, thinking about a lot of different like cards that could interact, and John just kind of had the aggressive start and just didn't line up well.
Again, John mentioned 10 sideboard cards to bring in. Isaac alone looks like he's bringing 7 or 8 cards in.
Maybe game 1 you're just trying to do like a much more explosive. Gotta win game 1, and then game 2 and 3 you trying to grind, cut the more like really explosive cards. Oh my God, those explorers!
Yeah, but see the copy of Explorer.
It's it's very beautiful.
Hey,
We have to let them
We
have
will.
it. We have to let the people have the Spider-Man so that we can have the Avatar.
this is a deck list for Titan. Similar-ish to probably what we're going to see out of Isaac. Importantly, one of the cards I saw Isaac bringing in was Keen Eye Curator, or the strictly different Scavenging Ooze, right? Very importantly, requires the green mana up front, but then can always use colorless after the fact. So very importantly, coming in, so has seen the power of what the graveyard has done for John's deck. Just that little bit of hedge is coming out of the board for Isaac.
Yeah, and ever since they've added the scape shifts, this deck has gotten so much more scary. Being able to win with 3 lands is dumb.
Do you know what my favorite sideboard card out of Titan right now is?
Hmm.
Propaganda.
Ghostly Prison in blue? Oh,
Yeah. Yep, that one.
It's pretty good.
Because here's the deal. Sometimes you just put that thing into play against black-white, against Boros or something, and they just like can't. Just
They're like, what do you mean I'd have to have 2 more lands? Black-white, I think, plays like 16 or 17, and then all the MDFCs. Like, if you count the lands, they probably play around like 21, 22, if you count the MDFCs. But I think like the basic, they play Witches, Enchanter, and Trawler.
mm.
So that's 6. Play like 22 minus 6. Probably play around 16, 17 lands. I've definitely played against them when they don't have 2 lands.
Oh yeah.
Like they have like maxed out on 2, and then in that situation, you're right, they just can't attack.
Yep. Stuff like that I think is just helpful, good, and sometimes the joy of sideboarding is bringing cards that are like so off of what's happening that you also have to make your opponent into like rough decisions. Like, what? You gonna kill my propaganda, or you gonna kill my Amulet of Vigor? Like, come
No.
on.
That's fair. And I also saw a bridge in Isaac's sideboard. Maybe that's like a consideration to saying, hey, I can just combo, you can't. Like late game.
Holy cow!
I don't think he boards it in here, but like if he sees that John's just a linear deck with like
Yeah.
Thoughtseize and stuff, might bring that in.
What's hard is we know John has cards like K Command, the OG, right? We're talking Kolagon's Command is going to be
Yeah.
some of those cards that John's going to use to fight back against these artifacts. So hopefully maybe Isaac didn't bring in the costly artifacts because they might have ways to fight back.
Definitely. Banefire in Amulet Titan. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, someone in chat's
Cooking.
they're doing a thing.
They're
I can
cooking.
appreciate it. Now, if I'm gonna fireball, Banefire is the best option, right? Not
Definitely.
close. The can't be countered clause just means once I'm ratcheting it up, it's getting you. It's going to the dome ski, right? Like that's important.
My favorite moment in like all of Magic is when you have like the win, and then your opponent has a bunch of counter spells, and they're confident, and then the line of text that says, "This can't be countered," and they're just like, "No,
Mm-hmm.
but I have the counter spells."
Mm-hmm. I
Feels
bet
so
on
good.
both sides of those.
Feels so good.
Isaac sculpt in a hand here. We see Titan. We see Summoner's Pact. We see Urza's Saga.
It couldn't. Whatever it is, it couldn't be better than his hand was last game. He literally drew ringer, ringer, ringer.
Beseiju Pass. How about that?
You know what? That's a start.
Yes, that's a start. Isaac be starting. Bobble. Trigger DRC. Figuring out if John does or doesn't want to crack the fetch. This is the using the Surveil plus Bobble as kind of a pseudo scry, pseudo surveil, however you want to do it. John likes it. Taking a peek at Isaac's card. Because now what John can do is pass the turn, draw the card on top, and then crack the fetch and go a looking.
Poke.
Poke indeed. And the seesaw.
It's coming in.
There's
Life totals are gonna go back and forth, and eventually it's gonna get big.
the Keen-Eye Curator.
And if you play Curator, it could just be a dismember, and they could just trade with the Cecil.
Yeah, the Curator's here.
It's a 3/3 for 2 that you can pay a generic and exile a card from a graveyard. If 4 or more card types are exiled this way, it gets +4/+4.
Yeah, which is funny because it's better against John's deck of trying to develop Delirium. So like things like the enchantment creature is gonna be helpful.
Yeah, it just needs Delirium in exile, and it works. And it gets Trample, which is huge.
Yes, and it's just so big. It can get big.
Bigger than Kappa, that's true.
Bigger than Kappa has been said. Yeah.
Elvish Reclaimer is very powerful. I do remember.
Yeah, I've been seeing Reclaimers floating around as one-ofs in Titan sideboards recently, so it's here. It's around. It's happening. Big rips for John. Really needs ways to start trying to interact here. I'm talking Cleansing Wildfire. I'm talking Kolagon's Command. I'm talking Thoughtseize. Like, we gotta do something. So many Zendikar Rising cards today, such as
Crumbling Vestige.
yeah, the Landfall deck for sure. Yeah, Crumbling Vestige. Yeah, love Cleansing Wildfire. You're right. The Goof, the Bobble. This Bobble's important. Shutting off the Summoner's Pact.
There's a Beseiju off the top. That was literally the draw for turn.
Okay. Dude, putting answers in mana base really has done something, right? Of just the opportunity cost is so low for the deck to just have a naturalize in its mana base.
Yeah, the fact that it's not like scaled up in mana value, like the mana cost is 2.
Yeah, but
which is-
Sage is the wildest one, right? That
it's
cost is just
on
still
rate.
2.
Like imagine if your naturalize could also hit a non-basic land.
Yeah. The thing that always gets me is if I have a legend in play and that card costs literally 1 mana to do the thing.
Yep.
I did it with Grizzlebrand out recently.
It's pretty good.
I was like, they like the Leyline binding? I don't. Nope.
Nature's Claim with upside,
Yeah. Just pop it. Grab it.
pretty good.
John with a this bauble, Spellbomb, Nile Spellbomb, alongside just a pile of ones. You can see why a player would be drawn to a deck like this Rakdos deck, right? It is just cheap, good, effective cards, right? It's just everything has a job, it has a role, it does it for as cheap as possible. It just does it, just gets in there.
Yeah, I mean, being able to just put threats in the battlefield and then have the best interaction in like 2 different colors. Great place to be in Modern. The issue is you play up against a deck like Titan, which just goes big. Your aggression suddenly is looking pretty sad.
Isaac's going eating. Gonna eat the Kozilek's, the Kolaghan's command.
The other K command. It's crazy how K command has changed.
Oh. And then it became non-delirious for the DRC, and then it stood in front.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Isaac's so cool and smart and good.
The seesaw is working. He took 2, so he went to 10, and then it flips and becomes the 4/4 with lifelink.
Yeah.
The seesaw has activated.
And now I think Isaac's gonna. Nope, not using Beseiju. Gonna continue to eat away at the graveyard of John. And eat even more.
Because, honestly, if he can turn this into a 7/7, he could probably just... In response, maybe, this is a crack to...
Interesting.
Try to keep him from having that big threat.
Yes. Cycle the bomb, look through everything. Importantly, tracking what cards have been exiled by the curator.
Yeah, because Isaac's probably saying, hey, if I can make this a 7/7, then I can race your 4/4, because I can make sure your Glyph is never big enough to attack.
Yeah, just being bigger than everything else. And this is sometimes the fun of post-board games in your like big deck or combo deck or whatever. Sometimes your sideboard card can just be an inherent problem. And while your opponent's spending time and turns and game actions on this problem, you're just gearing up for the real problem.
Yeah, my like best card to exemplify this is I play Chalice. Like all the cards that John's played are 1-drops. So
Sure.
you put a Chalice
So
on one.
you put one problem out there and make them spend time thinking about that one.
Yeah, and it feels really good. And John's kind of had a great night. He's kind of stomped a lot of people with this deck, and Isaac. He even has I think the Ashiok in his hand.
Holy cow.
Does that change anything?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because this Cecil is flipped and now is this 4/4 lifelinker, really, really going to try to run away with the game all by itself.
This has to be an Ashiok. Yes, coming down. And
Yeah.
that's the one card. If you're Isaac,
Yeah.
you're like, well, that kind of sucks.
So Isaac was saying when John said this is a bad matchup for me, I have 10 sideboard cards. Isaac said, well, then it's a good matchup for you because you play 2 games with those sideboard cards.
Yeah, 1000%.
Okay.
He says, mill 4 and exile your graveyard, please.
Now, very important when you're seeing Titan get milled and exiled like that, be on the lookout for important lands.
Yeah.
Mirror Pools, Lotus Vales, Teleria West. When those are gone, things get a lot harder. And I think Isaac might be cashing this Beseiju on the bauble, so going to try to figure out what it looks like to go for it next turn. Oh, and importantly, puts an artifact in the yard, which Isaac could eat up with the Kenai.
And then
Kenai Curator. The furry scoos. I didn't want to say that out loud. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
it's a raccoon.
It is. And Kenai Curator, so like a museum curator, and Kenai like looking at him. So it's literally this little guy looking at the stuff in the trash, right? He's a raccoon looking at the trash.
It kind of looks like a possum almost.
Could maybe. Man, Isaac looking at a hand with Scape Shift in it while this Ashiok stares him down. But Isaac does also have the use of a very important step called the combat step that could use that to threaten the Ashiok.
Well, and that is something that's really important, right? Is like The Curator could be the out that he simply needs to just go to combat, make this thing a 7/7 and win. Potentially, if he can get something
Well,
going
if
on.
if he eats enough stuff and the Curator is a 7/7 with trample, it deals exactly the needed 7 damage to this Ashiok.
Oh, because Goyf is a 2/3. That's right.
Uh-huh.
I forgot that Goyf was there. Yeah, this is not looking good for John.
And a construct being made.
It's gonna chump block the flipped seesaw. Life total's really seesawing now.
Isaac, very importantly, thinking through the hand, understanding that a lot of the cards in this deck require you to search. Primetime, searching. Teleria West, searching. Scape Shift, searching.
Urza Saga
Searching. Well, Isaac just lost out on this Urza Saga trigger.
Yeah.
That's what just actively happened here. But now, eating the enchantment land alongside the instant and the creature. Yeah, huge. Rumbles in, attacks, kills the Ashiok. Because of this sideboard card brought in to deal with John's graveyard, now also got to deal with John's Ashiok.
And now what's really tough is that's another thing. So the Goyf gets bigger, but it's not there for long. Gone
Yep.
right away.
Yeah, you literally said that and then gone and went.
Isaac was feeling the energy in the universe. Like, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and this construct's a very important blocker. Without this construct to block.
Arena of Glory.
Oh.
Is a problem.
Oh.
Okay.
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 Yeah, you can see Isaac chuckling. He just spent all that time, all that effort killing that Ashiok, and here's another one. Oh,
Dream Render.
Dream Render. That's the one.
Yeah, this is busted. It's ridiculous how good this card is. Being able to like turn off your opponent's fetch lands, chef's kiss.
Yeah. I like using it out of black-white and then taking it all the way down and using your Felia to blink it and then start doing it all over again.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I've lost to mill decks that literally just play Ashiok over and over again. So it's very strong. And I used to play it against Titan. The issue is what we saw there. Sometimes they just get a body in play early and they can attack the Planeswalker, and once it's gone, the value's gone. But really, really good games. This kind of just shows the power of Amulet Titan, right? Can show up out of nowhere, do its thing very, very efficiently. Has a bunch of main deck, hate, fear, hate. It's kind of ridiculous. What are your thoughts on Amulet? Good, bad, medium? You used to play it.
Yeah, it's really weird. So, the way that I think about this deck is it's a really, really, really intensive deck to learn the puzzle, to figure things out. What can be difficult is once you learn the puzzle, how many times do you want to solve it still, right? So that's the part that kind of got to me is once you learn lines, you just keep taking them.
Yeah.
So some people are drawn to it because enjoying the gameplay how it is. Some people are drawn to it because they enjoy winning games. Obviously that's a big reason to it. But what kind of got to me is I wanted to do things. I wanted to kind of like make decisions, take actions. And you're doing a lot of that in Titan. But what got rough is it is not very forgiving. So that's why when you talk about like the really, really, really good players, that's why there's such a gulf between some players and the really good ones, because the deck sometimes is not forgiving, can kill itself, can fizzle out, can just like stop, or if you make one wrong decision, you might not make any more decisions. So it's really good, but I do think, when people talk about seeing it on Goldfish or playing against it on Magic Online, or, oh, it's not putting up really good results, it's because the good players are really good.
Yeah.
And those that are trying to catch up are still very good because it's a very good deck. But sometimes the loss, the difficulty, the hard decisions can come from just how much is happening with this machine. It's not Boros. It's not 1, 2, 3, interact, kill ya.
Yeah.
It is
Core Steel Cutter.
Yeah, it is 1 through 1,000 over and over and over again, and understanding each part, each moment. I was watching Isaac fully explain out the combo to someone who had not seen it earlier today, and literally step-by-step surgical instructions, how to go through each step of it. And that is what it takes to be a good Amulet player, right? It's just literally having the script and the Bible memorized.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing about playing a deck is if you want to achieve mastery, you got to put your 10,000 hours in.
You're right.
Once you get those 10,000 hours, right, then like it's just your muscle memory. You're just able to play the deck to the best of your ability. You let the cards fall. Don't spend too much time mulliganing. Like you just know what to do. And
Yeah,
that only comes from practice.
Yes. One of the parts I think is the most fun though is if you are learning Titan, is a big part of it. Doesn't give a single care what your opponent is doing. So it was the best deck to Goldfish.
It's true.
I just learned a lot playing it all by myself.
Yeah, I think that a lot of like Magic can be played in a vacuum. The best part of it is when you add the other player. Like
Yeah.
you can play your deck against just somebody who sits there at 20 life and see how fast you can kill them. But the real challenge comes when you put somebody there who's going to try to kill you.
Now Isaac here has turn 3 amulets, and John's gonna do his best.
Sometimes that does happen.
So we have the current amulet in play. Isaac can use the Mycosynth Garden to make a copy of it, and then untap and search with the Saga and get a third one. A lot of this does fall apart if John can interact exactly on the moment of copy. With whatever the possible shatter effect, because Isaac could lose the real one and the intended one to be a copy. But 2 is when Titan takes off. 3 is when things just go wild.
Yeah, and we see the scape shift in the hand. So if there's 3 lands, we know that Isaac can just go infinite and just win, as long as the cards are still in the deck.
Yeah, Isaac, notably not using the garden there to copy. So being careful, being purposeful to make sure to not lose out on any copies of Amulet. Because again, if that was a moment of interaction for John, Isaac loses it all.
Yep.
And whereas if Isaac waits, if John goes to blow one up, Isaac makes a copy, and Isaac is left with one over still. So very importantly on these moments of patience are going to make sure that Isaac gets the most possible out of the cards he's working with. Crumbling Vestige, 2 triggers. So green from the entrance, and then colorless from the untapping, or floating 1 and keeping the actual land proper untapped. There's a Spelunk. So using the float from the Saga, the float from the Vestige, and the green from the Vestige.
Top decks the bounce land.
Great. Right now with 2 untapping sources. Remember, Spelunking and Amulet cancel each other out basically on the first copy. Additional Spelunkings never go bigger, but additional Amulets do. So for every additional trigger, Isaac is always going to default to using the Amulet, allowing lands to enter tapped and untapping them, as opposed to letting them be untapped through the Spelunking.
Now what's crazy here is we do see 3 lands in play and Escape Shift in hand. I do think that Isaac can just win here, but is that Vexing Bauble stopping him from being able to loop for Infinite Titans?
Partially.
Okay.
Because Isaac has so few actual lands to work with, he's not in a situation of being able to get like Bounce Land Beseiju alongside the going big process.
Yeah.
Is in need of Teleria Westing for an Aftermath Analyst to like really start getting the mana engine fully going.
Yeah.
So you're seeing Isaac slowly trying to piece it together.
And that's the thing, is this deck's very intensive. You have to think a lot about the different lines. I think about it like, how big is your staircase, right? If you're playing Snoop and a Harbinger, that's 2 steps to like victory. But like with Titan, you have so many different directions you can go in. That's why it's so hard to hate out, because if you put a piece in front of it, a lot of times they can build the staircase around what you're doing.
I would also like to alter your staircase.
Okay.
I think your first step should have a second step after it, which is haste or non-summoning sickness.
Yes, that's true.
I think that's very importantly when folks are understanding like an A plus B, is sometimes there's a secret like A.5 in there of like, oh, but I do need this to be true as well.
That's definitely a good point.
Which is how Amulet has grown and grown and grown and grown, is as it's been more trimmed down and like one's here, one's there of like 4 shift, 4 this, 4 that, is narrowing down on corner cases, right? Each time a new thing is happening, things are getting a little bit easier,
Takes the damage.
Yeah.
FOMO.
Kind of just a setup turn for Isaac, so allows John to take time, take actions.
Looking for something like a Thoughtseize to try to interact.
See, John's just like, okay, I got a turn. I try to do what I can with that turn.
So 2 things. One, this gets rid of the bauble, but it also puts a land in the graveyard. This allows him to have access to another land without playing it, right?
Yep.
So like this could potentially be really good with Aftermath Analyst. If he's able to go that route. She does have the Scape Shift, so we could see some shenanigans next turn. Would you play it safe and take an extra turn if you don't draw a land next turn? Just like try to get one more land in play before you Scape Shift? Or
Yeah,
would you just go
Isaac
for
can
it?
do very little, I think, on two raw pieces of card. I think the third land out of hand is a big up because that allows for Lotus Field bounce land action.
Yeah. Ooh, Saga.
Because Lotus Field bounce land action is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, pick up down to 9, cast down to 7, activate down to 3. And importantly, the graveyard right now is 3 out of 4 for Delirium, and Aftermath Analyst will become the 4th for Delirium.
Which is
So-
really, really cool.
So here's the Scape Shift. I believe it's going to be Lotus Field, Seventh Growth Chamber, Teleria West. If that's the case, the Lotus Field will create 6 mana, the Bounce Land will create 4, and the Teleria will create 2, and then it'll be picked up the Teleria West. So again, that's 6, 10, 12. You'll use 3 on the TOS down to 9 to get Summoner's Pact. You'll then be able to cast the Aftermath Analyst down to 7, activate down to 3. So 3 mana already floating when looping proper begins there. And then on the next loop that Isaac goes through, Isaac should be able to do the TOS thing again, but being able to get Prime Time. And then Prime Time is going to allow Isaac to get access to Shifting Woodland. And then you loop forevers.
And you know what? This is how Scape Shift allows this deck to go
Yep.
infinite, make infinite Titans.
And very importantly,
with
the
3
Lotus
lands.
Field sacks the lands as well, which puts them exactly where you want them for your Aftermath Analyst. So here's the second stage. So it is going to be the Summoner's Pact for Analyst. Again, there should be about 7 mana floating at this point and activating down to 3 mana floating. So Isaac's going through it basically until John either says, yeah, I don't have anything, or John chooses interaction point.
So no.
It's
Split
Sudden
second.
Edict.
Second creature cannot be responded to.
Isaac
He's got
dies.
a- and he's got a back trigger. On
Yeah,
his
Isaac
deck.
dies.
He dies because he doesn't have any lands. He passes. He passes the turn.
Yeah. Isaac knows what happens. I think
Yeah.
John was playing this not realizing that he won the game.
Yeah. So Isaac. Yeah, exactly. Isaac is like, oh, I need to activate this in response, but split second says
You can't do
just
anything.
can't do anything.
You can't do nothing, man.
And Isaac has no lands in play. That's a crazy way to win a game. But wow, split second is pretty good. That's insane.
Now, incredible.
We should all play Sudden Edict against Titan.
Here's the deal.
Quick.
So I did actually die to Sudden Edict last week.
Yeah.
Local Jund player who is a friend of Isaac's was playing Sudden Edict in their deck for specifically moments like this. They literally would weave him in so that they could beat up Isaac playing on Titan. And they did it against me and took my Grizzlebrand away from me before I could click the button. Because I was like, all right, we're good. Like, I'll pass turn against Jund. You figure it out. And they're like, Sudden Edict. And I go, and I couldn't activate it. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't have the moment. Very important, right? Wanted to be sacrifice a creature, split second.
Where's my cards? I want to draw 7 cards.
Folks, thanks for joining us. This has been Modern Magic, right? It is wild. It is all over the place. We see a lot. We experience a lot. Every day is different. Every single time that we're here, when we're in this, people are always innovating. Locals is always where it starts, right? So all the way up to your NRG series, but everyone started right here at Locals just like this one. This is where we all learn to brew, so we all learn to grow, figure out the specific ways to attack formats and attack decks and whatever it can be. This is where the greats begin, is doing stuff like that, like Sudden Edicting someone in the finals of your Locals. It's a moment that'll live with people for a long time and maybe inspire people like Jack or yourselves to be like, maybe I want Shielded Edict and maybe I want Sudden Edict. If you want to join, you want to be a part of that progression, that journey, that growth, there's 2 opportunities through the end of the year to do them here with the Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series in Mundelein and Elmhurst, Illinois. So staying local for the folks at home. But 10K Modern, 5K Split event. We're looking at a 2.5 trial for Legacy and for EOE Sealed. November 1st and 2nd in Elmhurst for 10K Standard Team event. Standard Sealed and Modern, as well as a 10K Modern Showdown. Remember, the Showdown events queue someone automatically for champs and get them a token in their likeness. Some of my favorites are always seeing the tokens that come out of team events that people kind of decide and do together. So we can see here there's the construct. We recently got one from the limited event if they made a hero token of the 3 of them together being heroes. That's beautiful, right? So little stuff like that. Again, the conversation that I hear the most is, oh, if you win this, what token do you make? Some people are, lucky enough to already have those tokens and have them made, and a lot of us are all aspiring towards it. So a big part of the series and a big part of the events. Again, it starts at the local level, but you can go all the way up to these ones. Wednesday here, we have this live stream 6:30 for Modern. Thursday, there's Elder Dragon Highlander, and Pokemon streams go live here frequently as well. Friday is that Boomer Zoomer Magic Night, and Legacy and Standard both popping off alongside One Piece. The Saturday into Monday is all that Digimon era alongside Elder Dragon Highlander. And Tuesday, One Piece, Lorcana, Flesh and Blood. Wednesday, they're even playing Gundam. So whatever the game, if you're in the Chicagoland area, out here in the suburbs with the rest of us, this is the time to come on out, enjoy the games. We are gaming all the time. Again, Buffalo Grove, Illinois, nerdridgegaming.com. Get your cards, get your games. This is the spot to do it. Thank you all so very much. We enjoy doing this every single week right here, beautiful Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Modern Weeklies. Jack's usually out there in those streets battling, playing on matches just like that. You guys see him all the time. We thank him so much for joining us. I've been Dom Stryker. Thank you all so very much. We will see you all again next week. Peace.